quarterbacks with full credentials. Joe Montana, two-time Super Bowl MVP. Jim McMahon, Chicago tough. He won the Super Bowl 3 years ago. Two coaches that know how to win big and win often. Bill Walsh, West Coast smooth. Tactical genius. Mike Ditka, blue-collar motivator, iron fist dictator. Two teams that reflect the styles of their coaches. Montana to Rice can win games from anywhere at any time. Chicago Bears defense, the monsters of the Midway. But when they kick it off, moments from now, in the crunch, it'll be Montana and McMahon. These two great leaders will stand tall with victory tonight, Montana or McMahon. A big Windy City showdown as the San Francisco 49ers meet the Chicago Bears on ABC's Monday Night Football.
ABC's Monday Night Football. Brought to you by Pontiac. We build excitement. By DP. Quality made in USA products that help get you fit for life. By Miller Genuine Draft. Cold filtered for real draft taste. It's as real as it gets. And by United Airlines. Rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies.
To Soldier Field in Chicago, sold out, of course. It's a beautiful fall evening here in Chicago, temperature near 40 degrees, a beautiful harvest moon that helps accentuate the familiar skyline of the city of Chicago on Lake Michigan. And a classical NFL matchup coming your way. We're delighted you're with us for what we think could be one of the best games of our schedule this season. The San Francisco 49ers and the Chicago Bears. The 49ers coming in tonight 5-2. They need a win tonight to stay tied with the Rams and one behind New Orleans in the NFC Western Division, and they have a tough schedule ahead of them. They desperately need this win tonight. They feel that way about it. Meanwhile, Chicago a little more comfortable. They are 6-1 with a win tonight. However, at the mid-season point, they would go 2 games up on Minnesota. Interesting sidebars all over the place about this matchup tonight. The 49ers lead the NFL in offense. The Chicago Bears lead it in defense. Of course, that could mean little or nothing when these two teams get together. It was a little over a year ago. We thought we had another great game coming up, December the 14th. It was the Chicago Bears. It was the San Francisco 49ers. The Bears won that one, or were blew away 41-0 in San Francisco. Francisco, so who knows what happens when these two get together. But one thing I think the 49ers know, Al, that the Bears have not forgotten the humiliation of that 41-0 defeat, even though they played without McMahon, and Montana went out early in that game, but anything happens when these two get together.
Well, that was the highlight of the 49ers season last year, Frank, but I think it was interesting to note, going into the playoffs last year, the 49ers thought they would win the Super Bowl. They had the best regular season record, 13-2, but they were waylaid by Minnesota in the first round of the playoffs, and it's a loss the 49ers took harder than any in the history of that franchise because they thought they were truly on their way to their third Super Bowl of the 1980s. I asked Bill Walsh last night, compare this team with last year's team. He says, we're better defensively. He said, I'm very happy with the running game, and well, they should be. Roger Craig gained 190 yards against the Rams last week, but he's concerned about the passing game. Joe Montana's banged up, and Jerry Rice is banged up, too, with a sore ankle, and practiced very little. We'll watch him early tonight as the 49ers try to get into the group. Dan Dierdorf, 41-0 was the score last year. 49ers won it, but Chicago was minus a very key ingredient, number 9, Jim McMahon, last year.
And Al, you're right about Jim McMahon as a key ingredient because you cannot disregard the statistic, and it is simply this. The Chicago Bears have won 31 out of their last 33 regular season games that Jim McMahon has been their quarterback. I think it's really ironic at 1988, the year that the quarterback has been getting knocked out for the first time in any of his NFL seasons. McMahon tonight makes his 8th consecutive start, something new for number 9. But I think if you're the 49ers looking at the Bears, you have to look at the fearsome pass rush. 4 quarterbacks have been knocked out already this year by the Bear defense. Last week, in their final game before tonight, they knocked out Danny White and Steve Pulor. So for Joe Montana tonight, it's 2 things. First, you must survive. And then if you survive, maybe you have a chance to win.
And a very, very important game for the 49ers. Frank pointing out they need a win to stay even with the Rams and a game back of New Orleans. A loss, and they'd be in 3rd place in their division, probably the toughest in the league right now, the NFC West. Hofer to kick off for San Francisco. Chicago will take possession at the 6-yard line. Fielding the kick there is Thomas Sanders, and he runs it back out to the 30-yard line. And so McMahon, for the first time in his career, making 8 consecutive starts at the beginning of a season. At the 31-yard line, and behind him, Neil Anderson and Matt Suey coming back after he was sparingly used last year. McKinnon and Gentry are the wideouts, and the veteran Emery Moorhead is the tight end. Colbert is still on injured reserve. So Wojciechowski is the left tackle. Borch, Hilgenberg, Thayer, and Van Horn. From the 30-yard line, they start with a double tight end set, and McMahon goes right to the air, and he hits Neil Anderson coming out of the backfield. Not only is Anderson the main man on the ground, but he is also tied for the team lead in pass receptions. They use him much as the 49ers use Roger Craig to run and also to catch the ball. The 3-4 for San Francisco. Stover is on injured reserve. It's Roberts, Carter, and Fagan up front. Haley Ellison comes back after an injury last week, and Walter, the linebackers. McKyer got burned twice last week, with Wright starting at the other corner, and Fuller and Latta are the safeties. 2nd down and 5 from the 35-yard line. Anderson out to the 39-yard line, and Anderson, of course, seeing a lot more action this year after the retirement of Walter Payton. Though people forget, he did lead this team in rushing last year, and that's one big difference this year at Soldier Field. You would not have seen that in the past several seasons. They've gone from artificial turf to grass. And doesn't Anderson know that all too well right now?
Neil Anderson, Al, also led them last year in receiving, so he is a guy that's everywhere for the Chicago Bears, and out from under the shadow of Walter Payton. He's got a 4.3 per carry average, so the timing was right for this guy. He's legit.
3rd down and a long yard from the 39-yard line. Opening series for the Bears. They send Suey in motion. Fake to Anderson, and the throw for a first down to Gentry, who's tackled by McKyer short of the 50-yard line. First down at the 48.
And that shows the confidence of both McMahon and Mike Ditka in Dennis Gentry. They think to me probably would be an excellent running back. They moved him out to the flanker spot, and on a 3rd and critical down in his first drive, they go right to him, and there you see McKyer right up in his face. Now Gentry will drive it upfield, comes back into the ball, gets the first down. But again, showing a lot of confidence in Dennis Gentry.
And really, I don't know if McKyer could have played it much different, Frank. He was locked up on single coverage. Pretty good coverage. No way he can get beat deep. You almost have to give up that intermediate pattern.
1st and 10, Chicago from their own 47-yard line with Anderson in motion. And McMahon protected well, lofting it, and mistiming on the pattern as he threw it well beyond Dennis McKinnon. McKinnon had gone to the sideline, and McMahon threw it about 10 yards further downfield, covered by Eric Wright. A remarkable story in itself. Wright basically out of action for the last couple of years. A deep groin pull, in fact, a chipped bone in that area, and Eric Wright, a lot of people thought was finished forever, but here he is starting tonight.
A lot of us thought he might have been the best defensive back in football in the '84 season. Of course, was culminated with that Super Bowl 19 victory over Miami, and after that, it's just been downhill, and now he started to come back.
2nd and 10. On a draw, Anderson, and it's broken up beautifully by Michael Walter, the linebacker, reading it perfectly and stopping him for no gain.
You know, we talked about the Bears defensive unit being #1 in the league, #1 against the rush. The 49ers, you kind of forget about how good they play defense, and not just this year. They are 5th overall coming into tonight. That's not shabby. 6th against the rush, 7th against the pass. Last year, they were the #1 ranked defensive team in football.
And here we face a passing down, and we make a lot about the Chicago Bears pass rushing. They come into the game with 23 sacks. Well, the 49ers are only 1 behind. They've sacked the quarterback 22 times so far here in '88.
3rd down and 10 as the 49ers show blitz with 4 down linemen, and the Bears with McKinnon in motion out of the shotgun. Flags go down as McMahon steps up, and McMahon running into 49er territory, looking for the first down, and out of bounds at the 42-yard line. He has the first down. Anderson led the way with a block on Ronnie Lott, but we'll see about the penalty. Johnny Greer is the referee.
I think the Bears moved. I think someone in the Bear offensive line moved. It's going to be a question of whether he moved before the ball or not.
Signal is against the 49ers for offside. And McMahon will decline it.
Offside, 94 defense, decline. First down.
Charles Haley.
The right guard, Tom Thayer. This is Tom Thayer right here. Watch the snap of the football and watch Thayer. Let's see how close it is. Thayer, boy, that's... I think he moved before the snap of the football. I think the Bears got away with one right there. He timed it as good as you can time it, but his hand appeared to come up off the ground before the snap of the football.
So McMahon runs for a first down. Chicago at the San Francisco 42-yard line. And Suey goes nowhere. He is wrapped up by number 75, Kevin Fagan. Suey last year carried the ball 7 times all season. He appeared to be on his way out, and a big comeback for him in '88.
There's Kevin Fagan right there. Look at him go down with a block of Wojciechowski and then get back into his area of responsibility. It's easy for a defensive lineman to get collapsed all the way down in there when the man in front of you goes down to block somebody else. Played properly that time by Kevin Fagan. Honor your responsibility.
2nd and 10 at the 49er 42. No score early in the first quarter. McMahon throws over the middle, and the catch is made at the 36-yard line by Suey. They're about 5 yards shy of the first down. 3rd and 5 upcoming with 10:35 to play in the first quarter.
Good coverage downfield. McMahon did not have a chance to look at too much downfield, and there was only a 3-man pass rush by the 49ers, but they did penetrate. McMahon had to go underneath, and he couldn't look upfield for the first down yardage. 49ers play it again. I'll say it once again, they play it tough defensively, and McMahon just did not have the time he thought he might get.
Morris and McKinnon this time, and Gentry all come wide to the left. On 3rd and a long 5 from the 37-yard line. They send Gentry in motion. He stays in the block out of the shotgun, and the pass is too tall for Neil Anderson. So the Bears come up short on their first drive. McMahon looks over toward the bench, hopeful that Ditka will say go for it with his field position, but Mike says no.
A good look there of how the 49ers changed things up. You heard Frank mention before how they only came with 3 men on the pass rush. That time they changed it around, come with 5, and McMahon doesn't have near enough time to get away an effective pass.
Key man, Charles Haley, he can play the linebacking spot upright or the down lineman. That time he went down, and he was right in McMahon's backfield.
Brian Wagner, who's done a nice job and has filled a hole for the Bears this year. He stands at the 50-yard line and will try to angle this kick in the direction of Taylor. He calls for a fair catch and makes it at the 11-yard line. So the 49ers begin deep in their own territory after a 24-yard punt. 9:49 to play in the first quarter. No score. So the 49ers take over at their own 12-yard line. A scoreless first quarter. Bears bogging down after picking up a couple of first downs. And Joe Montana, the San Francisco starter, with Steve Young in reserve. And they also signed Todd Santos last week, but he's been waived as Craig and Rathman are the running backs. Rice and Wilson the wideouts, and Heller the tight end. And there's the offensive line, anchored by the man in the middle, the longtime guard, now center, Randy Cross. And Montana goes right to the air on first down from the 12, and he hits Roger Craig. And what else is new? Roger Craig with 43 catches now. He was tied for the league lead coming into the weekend at the moment because Keith Jackson, the Philadelphia tight end, caught 6 yesterday. Jackson is the league leader, and Craig is now 5 behind him. Up front, Bears. And McMichael and Hampton in particular have been outstanding, especially of late. Singletary, as usual, doing a stellar job in the middle. They start Mickey Pruitt, a rookie, at one outside spot, and David Tate, a rookie, starts at free safety. Craig on a reverse to Jerry Rice. Rice looking for a block from Montana and has to go out of bounds at the 24-yard line. Run out there by Mickey Pruitt.
And a big-time play by Mickey Pruitt. A rookie free agent linebacker is the guy who read that reverse all the way and strung Jerry Rice all the way out to the sidelines. And this guy was a safety in college, went to Colorado, playing outside linebacker against a team like the 49ers that come at you repeatedly with their running backs. The guy only weighs 206 pounds. Really undersized to be playing outside linebacker in this league.
And I'll tell you how the Bears have adjusted, too. He's the 3rd linebacker to play in that position. Otis Wilson has gone out. Jim Morris, he's gone out. They benched Danny Jones, and Mickey Pruitt, the rookie free agent, is in there tonight. A lot of injuries on this Bear club. A lot of players that you don't know. They're still 6-1.
They got flagged too much time.
2nd and 8. A flag goes down, and the clock did tick down. The 45-second clock, and the crowd did its very best to jam Montana's signals on that one, and it paid off.
Well, it paid off because Mike Ditka all week long has been talking about how he'd really like to have the crowd into this game. He actually has been pleading in the papers here in Chicago, we need your help Monday night.
Still 2nd down.
And if you think Joe Montana had a lot of noise last time, listen to this.
You look at these two coaches, and these teams literally take on the character of their coaches. The Bears, they're kind of bullish in a way. They'll knock you down. If you're staggering, they'll hit you again. 49ers, they like to jab. They like to give you a little bit of a hook. They're finesse so many things, and that really is almost characteristic of the two coaches.
There's Singletary trying to adjust the defense as the snap, and Craig is stopped at the 20, but a penalty at the inception of the play at the 21-yard line. It's Singletary who makes the tackle.
And I think the 49ers moved early. Left side of the 49er offensive line jumped out, trying to get out in front of that play and pulling. And Mike Singletary going to march him back again.
And but Dan and Al, if you look at Mike Singletary, we're going to take a good look at him at halftime. He's a very fascinating man, but Mike Ditka said, we want to stop them from getting outside. They love to get outside. They have an offensive line that's unique, perhaps in the NFL, in that they can pull well, they can trap well, but said we must stop them from getting outside, and they had to be pleased with that one.
2nd down and 18 now. 9:24 to play, first quarter with no score.
Clock operator, please reset the clock to 9:31.
And they put 7 more seconds back on the clock. 9:31 to go in the quarter. Montana and the 49ers at the 15-yard line. 2nd down and 18. Montana to Craig, and Craig takes it back out to the 20-yard line for a gain of about 6. Mickey Pruitt and Steve McMichael in on the tackle.
I think it's obvious that the 49ers have said, let's challenge 52, Mickey Pruitt. They come at him with a reverse to Rice. Now they dump one off to Roger Craig, and that's smart football. Go ahead and challenge a rookie free agent who's playing out of position, playing linebacker. But, hey, this kid has asserted himself early.
He's out of there now as the Bears go into their nickel defense. But he's looked good. Dan mentioned a former safety. He's got the quickness. Maybe not the size, but he's played well thus far.
At the 20. On 3rd and long, it's Montana. Protected very well. Going deep and open is Rice, who makes the catch. Great move at the 40 and then takes it to the 35-yard line. Great catch by Jerry Rice. And again, we're watching him carefully at the outset, especially in light of his limited practice time last week because of the sprained ankle.
That ankle, that was a perfectly thrown ball, however, by Montana. They had a zone defense coverage. You'll see number 24, Bessie Jackson, tries to hit him, lets him slip by. Now he's looking for his deep coverage, and Montana reads it beautifully, drills it right in between the coverage. David Tate, the rookie from Colorado, not over there quickly enough.
But there's a lot of things happening on this play, Frank, and what you didn't see here was a Dave Dewerson came on a safety blitz up the middle. And this play was allowed to happen by how the 49ers handled the rush up front. They gave Joe Montana all the time in the world to make it happen.
And strange coverage for a safety blitz.
So they convert on 3rd and long, and on 1st down it's Roger Craig trying to get outside, and he never gets there. And down he goes. Hampton makes the tackle. You win a lot of bets if you ask people which team led the league in rushing last year. Everybody seems to be so surprised the 49ers are #1 as far as rushing is concerned. They led the league in rushing last year as well.
And I guess that's just, a testament to how well Bill Walsh mixes his offense with the dump-off passes, the long strikes to Jerry Rice. And when you consider the season Rice had last year, there wasn't room for anybody else to get any publicity.
Exactly. It's amazing they led the league on the ground. 2nd and 11. The fake to Craig as Montana on a roll to his right, throws near side, and a catch is made inbounds at the 24-yard line by Rice.
Nice.
He'll drive a defensive back and a defensive coordinator nuts. I mean, you've got to respect him deep. He gives you a drive upfield, turns and comes back to the sidelines, even though Montana maybe wasn't planning to go there. Gives him the perfect target, has the balance, the athleticism to keep both feet in bounds. That's pretty.
Oh, that's just what it is. That's what it's all about. That's nice. Look at the feet. Look at the body control.
And a 1st down. He knew exactly where he was, exactly how much yardage he needed. 49ers at the Chicago 23-yard line. And the pass is too high, intended for Ron Heller, the tight end. They're minus their top tight end, John Frank, on injured reserve with a broken hand. And so it's Heller and Brent Jones who share that spot.
How Bill Walsh would like to put some points up and take this crowd out of the game early if he could, a little bit. And in contrast, Mike Ditka would love to see his defense fire up this crowd.
Well, the Niners, as you saw, have mounted several long drives this season, and they're trying to do it again. This one started at their own 12-yard line. On 2nd and 10, they take Dent out of the play, and Rice makes the catch, and he's in for the touchdown. Jerry Rice, who caught the 45-yarder, then another 9-yarder for a 1st down, and takes this one in for a touchdown.
Just a simple zone defense and good protection for Montana. That's the key. The Bears always rely on getting the pressure. Here is Rice coming off the line of scrimmage. Breaks it in. And as you see, Mike Richardson, 27, the cornerback, has let him go by. Dewerson's the only man there. He's too late.
Richardson has got to hit Jerry Rice. The whole purpose of that defense is the corner has to jam the wide receiver at the line of scrimmage. Mike Richardson took a shot at Jerry Rice and whiffed on him completely. That's the key to that play.
Mike Colfer, high snap. Montana, though, does get it down, and the kick is good. Credit Montana falling in the high snap and getting it down. Another look at the touchdown pass as the Niners lead it 7-0.
The Bears had 3 touchdowns last year.
He's off to a quick start again tonight.
3 for 81.
Come on, Will. You got to answer right now.
Silver. 49ers 49ers hopeful of going back to another Super Bowl following this season. They won that one in Pontiac. Then, of course, they won the one at Stanford against Miami in January of '85. They've just taken a 7-0 lead as Cofer kicks off, and it's fielded by Thomas Sanders from his 7. Sanders brings it back out to the 17, and a flag goes down. Here's the Rice TD.
Let's take a look at this touchdown again. If you're going to play a zone defense, it's all predicated around this cornerback getting a good shot on this receiver. Watch Richardson miss him to the inside. The safeties for the Bears then don't have a chance to react and get back into it. Mike Richardson overcommits to the inside. Rice has a free release, and you can see neither one of the Bears safeties able to get into the proper position in time to make a play on Jerry Rice.
First down.
Illegal block on the run back will pin the Bears further back. Jerry Rice looking like anything but a man who missed almost all of practice last week with that sprained ankle. You'd never know it. The Bears would never know it after that first drive, catching 3 for 81 yards. 81 of those 88 total.
He hurt that ankle in their game last week against the Rams. Jerry Gray got a face mask on him, pulled him down awkwardly, and turned his ankle.
And he limped much of the rest of the game, and as we say, missed almost all the practice time this week. From deep in their own territory, Neil Anderson tries to give them some room, but he is stopped for no gain by Michael Walter with 6.5 minutes to play in the first quarter. Michael Walter, one of the 4 linebackers in their basic 3-4. As we mentioned at the top, Bill Walsh thinks his defense is better this season. Last week they were able to stop the Rams. The Rams have been running wild against everyone. And over a 55-game span, as you take a look at it, the Chicago Bears, and that goes back to the 1984 season, equal to the second-best mark over that span in the history of the NFL. McMahon going deep for Morris. He has position, but it's knocked away at the last moment by Tim McKyer. And McKyer, who got burned twice against the Rams last week for touchdowns, was able to get over after Morris had the initial position and break up the play.
I think that inculpation has got to go to McMahon. He hung that up, and Morris had McKyer beaten to the outside, and had McMahon pulled the trigger on it, it might have been a little more effective. Plenty of time.
It looks like he tries to drop the ball in over the top. Hardly a frozen rope out there, and you're right. The arc of the football does give McKyer the opportunity to come across and make a sensational play. Here we see it from the other side of the field. From that angle, Morris has a reception, but give McKyer credit. He timed it well.
Third down and 11. McMahon out of the shotgun from the 8-yard line. 4-man rush. Going deep and open. Kozlowski, and he makes the catch at the 46-yard line. Glenn Kozlowski, who just came into the game as the extra wide receiver, and a big first down. And again, he beats McKyer.
The life of a cornerback we couldn't talk all night and capsulize it any better than these last 2 plays by Tim McKyer. One, a sensational play to knock it away, this time beaten badly on a fly pattern.
But the Bears are going there, and McKyer has had his problems. And Kozlowski, who made this football team as a replacement player a year ago, has another big catch. His first regular season catch was 50 yards against Minnesota, getting the Bears out of their own territory, deep in their own territory.
Only his 3rd catch of the season from the 45. Fakes to Shuey. Again, the protection is good. The pass is too high, and paying the price is Wendell Davis, the rookie out of LSU, hit by Ronnie Lott.
That's where Ronnie Lott is supposed to be. The cornerback and Lott are playing in and out. Look at McKyer, give him the outside. He knows that when he reaches a certain point, the play belongs to Ronnie Lott, and there he is. And Ronnie takes the shot, even though it's out of bounds. That easily, I think, could have drawn a flag.
You know, Dan, they've looked at a lot of films, and that receiver, Morris, going down the sidelines, he knew in that zone coverage, even though he was concentrating the ball, he knew Ronnie Lott was going to give him a shot, and he did. Lucky it didn't get a flag.
2nd and 10 from the 45-yard line with Moorhead in motion. And they keep it on the ground, and Shuey doesn't go anywhere. Pushed back by a quartet of 49ers, led by number 91, Larry Roberts.
I think when Johnny Rowland, the backfield coach of the Bears watches the tapes tomorrow with Matt Suhey, he might say, Matt, this might have been a play where you should have ducked it to the outside. Nothing at all on the inside, but it looked like a crease to the outside. Easy for us to say up here, huh? Looks relatively simple from this vantage point.
Got all the answers up here.
But you know what? The coaches are up here, too. They never seem to take into consideration what's happening down there. Stubborn guys, these coaches.
Ditka stubborn?
No. Mr. Congeniality.
3rd down and 9 from the 47. McMahon under a lot of heat and throws a one-hopper to Gentry. And rushing in on the play is Keena Turner. You think back to last year's 49er Bear game, Turner tore his knee up. Long recovery process. They worked him back in slowly, and now he has once again assumed a starting role.
But nonetheless, an effective drive by the Chicago Bears, deep in their own territory, moved it up close to midfield, and did what they had to do, even though they didn't get points.
Thanks to that catch by Kozlowski. So now Wagner to take the snap at his own 30-yard line. John Taylor capable of breaking one for the 49ers at his own 15. And the Bears snap it with 2 seconds to go on the 45-second clock. There's a flag. Flag goes down. McKyer decks the punter Wagner. Taylor makes the catch at the 16, gets back to the 18. And McKyer is in the wrong place at the wrong time again.
It all depends what the call is here. But it looks like this is going to be a first down for the Bears. This could be a situation where it's just yardage. And if it's only a 5-yard penalty, it won't be enough for the first down.
McKyer went up in the air. There's no question that he ran into the kicker. I think it's just out of frustration. They have been working on McKyer over and over here early in the game.
Running into the kicker, 22 defense, still 4th down.
See, that's the difference between running into the kicker and roughing the kicker. Roughing the kicker is an automatic first down. Running into the kicker is only 5 yards, and in this situation, that's not enough to give the Chicago Bears a first down.
It was 4th and 9. Had it been 4th and 4, then it's a first down. But there's McKyer running into him, and they'll still have to punt.
Now, don't ask me what's the difference between running into the kicker and roughing the kicker. Only the officials know for sure. Surgery.
Severity or intent?
McKyer will rush more gingerly this time, perhaps. Griffin is back with Taylor at the 10-yard line. In fact, nobody rushes. And Wagner's kick is a floater, fair caught by Griffin at the 21-yard line. So the Niners, who drove 88, will try to drive 79 with 3:22 to go in the period. 7-0, San Francisco. Chicago 49ers, it's almost like it's opening night of the football season.
A lot of good things going on down there, too. Every time these two teams get together.
Frank, you and I were talking on the way here. This is absolutely perfect weather.
Game time temperature 40, and here's Rathman on first down for a gain of 11. The 49er fullback takes it to the 32-yard line. He is stopped there by Mickey Pruitt. 49ers trying to establish a mark tonight. Right now they are tied for most consecutive road wins in the history of the NFL. And you go back to the Chargers, who played the 1960 season in Los Angeles and then moved to San Diego with 11. The 49ers now with 11, and the Saints on the march as well with 10 consecutive road wins. Rathman for a gain of 3 to the 35-yard line.
Well,
2nd and 7.
I'll throw this in. If they get the record-setting win in Soldier Field, they'll truly have earned the record. If you get your 12th consecutive road win here in Soldier Field against the Bears, no one can criticize that thing as having come easily.
Well, the 49ers have not lost a road game since the opening game of the 1987 season when they lost in Pittsburgh. 49ers through the air for 98 of their 113 yards. And Walsh was concerned about the running game. 2nd and 7. Montana throws and incomplete. Craig couldn't hold it. He was covered on the play by Pruitt. It'll be 3rd and 7 from the 35-yard line.
I think Bill Walsh now staying with that famous play sheet he has on the sidelines. They say that he goes right down, tries to go through some 20 or 25 plays, and we talked to Joe Montana about that. He said, well, I think the furthest we got, what did he say, about 16?
Yeah, and he says more often than not, it's more like 8 or 9. But I think if we looked at that play sheet right now, we'd see Mickey Pruitt's name on it. They're going right at this kid, and he's there.
He's got his name underlined.
3rd and 7 from the 35-yard line. Craig on a sweep to the outside, broken up by the Bears. And that's why Chicago's #1 in defense, Harris and Richardson, come up despite the 2 pulling guards for the 49ers.
And again, they do what Mike Ditka said he wanted to do. He wanted to take away that outside sweep of theirs, the power sweep. They pull very well. You can see Sapulu pulling out in front of Craig. They are very quick. They're not big like some of the offensive lines you see around the league now. They are very effective pulling and trapping, and the Bears want to take the sweep away from them. They've been effective.
Helton to kick. He's been very erratic. Dennis McKinnon at the 27-yard line.
And you're going to get holding. You're going to get holding against San Francisco. The 49ers are going to get flagged for holding. The question will be whether or not the Bears will take the penalty. With that short kick, I doubt it.
Bill Romanowski, as Johnny Greer will tell us in a moment. Ditka's saying decline, decline.
You get it at the 40, you take it.
I would have to think with a kick like that they're going to decline it. You have the ball at your own 40-yard line.
After a 38-yard punt, 10 yards return.
Holding, 38 kicking team. It's declined. First down.
And they will take over at their own 37-yard line. 1:48 to play first quarter at Soldier Field. San Francisco 7, Chicago nothing. Revisited.
Well, this is the 49er game. That must be Huey Lewis in the news.
I'd like to wake up to that one.
They're a week early. Halloween is next Monday. We'll be in Indianapolis for it. It'll be the Colts against the Broncos. Bears take over. They split Anderson, top of the screen, as the receiver to the right on first down. McMahon heading for the sideline, and he is run out of bounds by Ricky Ellison. But no flag. After a gain of about 3.
There's a little sportsmanship there, as McMahon said, I know you didn't mean it. Gave him a little pat on the fanny, back to the huddle. Although we've seen flags fly for less than that. They're really protecting the quarterbacks as well. They should. That's a good hit. It's inbounds. And a little severe.
And as a defensive player, that's in reality a hit that you're coached to give out. I mean, that's your job. Quarterback runs out of the pocket. You've got to run 25 or 30 yards to catch him. You're not in the best of moods when you get there.
2nd and 7 from the 40. That's Anderson in motion. Pressure and a sack as Charles Haley, number 94, their pass rush specialist, drops him back at the 31-yard line.
And he's working against John Wojciechowski, the left tackle. Keep in mind, he's playing in place of the injured All-Pro Jim Covert. And that is nothing but a speed move by Haley. It's a race to the corner. And Haley, no match for Wojciechowski. Wojciechowski just really didn't have a chance. Took a poor set, and Charles Haley comes flying in, gets his 8th sack of the year, leading the 49ers.
We've seen him in 4 different positions tonight. Stand up outside left. He's been a down lineman outside left, and that time he came from the right.
And he can burn.
3rd and 16. The last time they were 3rd and long, they hit Kozlowski long. McMahon over the middle, underneath, hits McKinnon. McKinnon out to the 46, but not enough for the first down. Ronnie Lott stops him about 2 yards shy, and it will be 4th and 2 at the 46.
You know, he didn't get that first down, but that is why Mike Ditka likes McKinnon. He put his back down. He tried everything he could. He knew he was going to get a terrific shot from Lott, but he tried to get that first down, and even though he failed to get it, he took a vicious blow trying to get it. Here he comes across the middle in the zone. Now right here, he knows where he has to go. He wheels and tries to get it. Kind of a love-hate relationship, I think, between McKenna, who does a lot of talking, and Mike Ditka.
Well, really, I think Ditka's the guy who loves him. It's the rest of the Bear organization that has a problem with Dennis McKinnon sometimes.
Brian Wagner's kick. John Taylor to receive at the 19-yard line. And Taylor, who can fly, brings it back out to the 32. And the 49ers will start their next drive from there. Troy Johnson in on the tackle with only 3 seconds to play in the first quarter after a 35-yard kick and a 13-yard return. And we can remind you that coming up this weekend, Saturday, you'll see the #1 team in the country, the UCLA Bruins, hosting Washington State, or Iowa taking on Indiana at 3:30 Eastern time. Halloween night, the Denver Broncos against the Indianapolis Colts. Bronx tied for the lead in the AFC West. Colts have won 2 straight, including a shutout over San Diego yesterday. And a big day for Eric Dickerson. First and 10 from the 32 on what will be the final play of the first quarter. Montana throws underneath to Heller, the tight end, and he's dragged down after a gain of about 1. So it'll be 2nd and 9 when play resumes in the second quarter. Ron Rivera making the tackle on the last play, and the first quarter is over with San Francisco on that big opening drive of 88 yards, and Jerry Rice making the catch for the touchdown, leading 7-0. And we'll be back to Soldier Field right after this message and a word from your local station.
Mercedes-Benz, engineered like no other car in the world.
Second quarter starts. 49ers have the ball at their own 33-yard line. 2nd and 9. San Francisco leading 7-0. Joe Montana to the outside, and Jerry Rice, who caught 3 catches on that first drive, and we're going to look at the other ones. He accounted for 81 of the 88 yards on this drive.
This was the big one. The Bears trying to double him with a zone, and Bestie Jackson tried to hit him, and getting over there way too late to make the play was the rookie David Tate. And this was absolutely beautiful on the sideline.
Picture perfect, working the feet, the body control. Nobody does it better than that. And of course, here's the touchdown where Richardson misses the jam and Montana feeds it perfectly. The Jerry Rice show in the first quarter.
He's caught 4 tonight, and here it's Rathman taking the ball out to the 40-yard line.
An interesting call on a 3rd down situation. Go ahead and feed the ball to Rathman on a straight dive up the middle, and the Bear defense didn't buy it at all, forcing the 49ers into a punting situation.
4th and 2.
Look at the difference in time of possession. I think that's why you find out that that's a relatively meaningless statistic.
Bears lead the league in time of possession through 7 games. And they're 6-1. That's a pretty good statistic.
Meanwhile, the 49ers, who've been run-oriented their last 2 games, get 100 yards through the air and 15 on the ground. Barry Hilton, a draft choice out of Colorado, who took over for Max Runniger the 2nd week of the season, kicks it down to the 11-yard line. The 49ers down at there. Bears start deep in their own territory. 1.5 minutes into the second quarter. 7-0, 49ers. Chicago Bears have some storied names as you go through the annals of this franchise's history.
Bears have always had a tough linebacker somewhere floating around.
Yep. Singletary doing a pretty good job of filling Butkus' old spot in recent seasons. From the 11-yard line, Brad Muster and Thomas Sanders are the new running back tandem. And this is Sanders for a gain of about 4. And Ditka likes to do this about every 3rd series. He alternates backs. He takes Anderson and Suey out and comes in with Thomas Sanders and Brad Muster, who was their first-round draft choice out of Stanford. Gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
Mike does it to everybody. He rotates his receivers in and out. He starts Dennis McKinnon when I think he probably, in reality, would like to start Ron Morris, but he thinks that McKinnon maybe couldn't handle that. So he shuffles them in and out, sometimes alternating them on each and every play.
I think that's a little bit of the evolution of the Chicago Bears. This is not the dominating physical team that they had in '85. And I think Ditka is doing a superb job of coaching and moving people in and out.
2nd and 6 from the 15-yard line. McMahon dumps it off. Sanders, he breaks 1 tackle, but not another. Coming in from the rear is Larry Roberts to knock him down at the 15, or just about the line of scrimmage after all that. No gain.
Good hustle by Roberts. playing it off to the one side and sees the pass. Normally a defensive lineman doesn't get a chance to get back in on a play like that, but boy, that's a dream come true when you see that running back reverse his field and come right at you and only gets one step in before you're on top of him.
Roberts has given them a lot of power. They've lost Jeff Stover to the injury reserve over on that left side, but this second-round draft pick from a couple of years ago has made up for that loss.
Of course, that's the position played by Dwayne Board for so many years with the 49ers.
3rd and 7 out of the shotgun. And the inside handoff to Anderson, who's back in the game and close to a first down and should have it as Mark Bort sprung him with a nice block. And he was spotted very close to a first down. He had to get it to the 22-yard line, and he has it. First down.
Bortz and Thayer run extremely well. Watch Bortz, the second guy in from the right, drop back and get the depth on that pull because he has to get around the block of the back. And look at him get upfield, lead the sweep, and bury one of the 49ers. As a running back, you love those guys. You love a guy that can run. A lot of linemen pull in this league and never get to the point of attack in time to make a block. That time Mark Bortz got there in plenty of time and made the block to boot.
Sanders and Muster are back in. That's Morris in motion. First down from the 23-yard line. And McMahon throws to Morris, who makes the catch at the 29 and is tackled at the 31. Morris, in his second year, they loved him out of SMU, so a lot of action as a rookie. And, of course, the Bears minus several big names, and one of those big names would be Willie Gault.
This young man has really matured. Second-round draft pick, and, of course, Gault has gone out to the West Coast and the Raiders, but good move there. Concentration. We saw him the very first night against the Giants a year ago, and we knew we had something special here to watch.
And what's the first thing they told us about Ron Morris? How he likes to catch it in the middle.
And no problem with coming in and letting McKinnon make the start.
2nd and 2 from the 31-yard line. Here's Muster, and he is stuck at the line of scrimmage and driven back by Larry Roberts, number 91.
Larry Roberts not yielding at all on the line of scrimmage, head-to-head with Keith Van Horn, the right tackle of the Bears, and he did not get moved off the football 2 inches.
Interesting down coming up on the first third and short yardage the Bears had. They opted to go with the pass, and Mike Ditka, of course, doesn't call all the plays. Greg Landry calls a great deal of them, but when you get to the critical ones, I think you better believe that Mike Ditka has a little bit of an entry here.
3rd and 1, Chicago from the 32. 49ers lead 7-0, 9:25 to go in the half. McKinnon in motion, and they give the ball to Sanders, and he picks up the first down despite losing his helmet at the 35-yard line. So a second first down on this drive for Chicago.
Well, it's good to look down and find that thing empty when it's laying there.
Boy, and they go right at the strength of the 49ers, too. 49ers with overloaded side, and the Bears don't care. They went with the play that was called and got the first down anyway, right into the strength of the 49er defense.
There's Landry, former great quarterback of Detroit, travel around a little bit, Cleveland, other places.
Why would he wear a hat like that on the sidelines, though?
Well, they said it was going to snow tonight.
Not very stylish.
But it cleared up late today. Temperature right now about 38 degrees from the 35-yard line. McMahon. And at the 40-yard line, it's dropped. Dropped by Emery Moorhead, the tight end. It'll be second down and 10. Temperature today, as we mentioned, 40 at the start of the game. Dropped a couple of degrees when they announced the forecast to the crowd over the PA before the game, and they said possible snow flurries. It'll get down into the upper 20s. There was this huge roar. Bear weather.
There was also a big rush to various men's stores in Chicago by members of the ABC crew that had no idea that it was this cold in Chicago.
And Debbie Deardorff as well.
Yeah. And led by our producer Kenny Wolf, who doesn't even have a coat here.
Somehow along Rush Street, the coat disappeared.
Army-Navy surplus sale. Second down and 10 from the 35. Sanders. And he's wrapped up by Pierce Holt, number 78, and Jeff Fuller, the strong safety, coming up. Pierce Holt, an interesting case, a fellow who didn't play college football until late and was drafted last year at the age of 26. and they have just brought him back off injured reserve. They're in need of defensive linemen with Stover on IR right now.
Had a bad toe, and they have needed him. Second-round draft pick out of Angelo State.
Looks like he's asking someone, what am I supposed to do now?
Yeah, he's seeing his first action ever. 3rd down and 5 out of the shotgun.
Would you repeat that?
Yeah. What's this formation?
Say what?
Help. McMahon going deep for Davis. He stretches but can't make the catch. Wendell Davis, the LSU rookie, had beaten Eric Wright on the play. And it'll be 4th down, and the Bears have to kick. Haley put the rush on that time.
And the Bears offensively need the big play. You get the feeling that the 49ers are just getting ready to explode. Look at Haley come in and put the popper on McMahon, although it's Haley that ends up on the ground. But the Bears need to do something offensively, and this was their opportunity.
And Haley forced McMahon to throw that before he would want to throw it. Consequently, he had to lay it up high, and it was a well-thrown ball considering he had to throw it early.
Brian Wagner's 4th punt of the night is a good one. It backs Taylor all the way up. He takes it at the 11-yard line. And he brings it back out to the 20, where he goes down in a swarm. 7:22 remaining in the first half at Soldier Field in Chicago. On an opening drive, the Niners go in. That's the only score of the game. Soldier Field in Chicago. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Dierdorf. The 49ers and the Bears again on Monday Night Football. Last year the Niners won it 41-0, and tonight they lead it 7-0. So Chicago, in 5.5 quarters, has yet to score against San Francisco, and the 49ers have outscored them 48-0 over that stretch.
And the Bears, I think, are flirting with big trouble by not putting some points on the board.
Joe Montana starts from the 20-yard line. He's got Terry Greer in the game. The former Canadian star leaps and can't make the catch. He's covered on the play by Vestey Jackson. It was Greer last week who made a very big catch on the 49ers' eventual winning touchdown drive against the Rams on a 3rd down and 19, and survived a hellacious hit on the play as well from Johnny Johnson.
Take a look at Greer again a few years ago. He had 113 receptions for Toronto up at the Canadian Football League. Came back to Cleveland in '86 and couldn't make it there, and joined the 49ers last year. They like him a lot.
2nd and 10 from the 20. Over the middle to Craig, and Roger has a first down to the 33-yard line.
He's not quiet for long. They have got away from him for a while, but he is explosive, having a dynamite year.
And they're going to go at Mickey Pruitt again this time, challenging him with Roger Craig coming out of the backfield. And how do you defend that pass right there? It's nothing more than a loop out of the backfield by the running back. And when Joe Montana throws that pass that he's thrown hundreds of times before in NFL games, it's just so difficult to defend.
Craig carried 3 times for 30 yards. The 49ers have been basically going through the air. Singletary backs off into pass coverage as Montana lost it for Heller, the tight end, and he takes it out to the 41. And the 49ers, who had been run-oriented the last 2 weeks, now back to the way the 49ers have basically played, very much through the Walsh era.
And that was a great shot of Singletary. You saw him reading the defense. You saw what you couldn't see was Montana changing the play as he looked at the defense, and you saw Singletary react instantly to that. He changed the Bears defense. That's good stuff. Those eyes, oh boy, they're frightening. And he is so intense. But he is the leader emotionally, spiritually, and physically of these Bears.
2nd and 2 from the 41-yard line. Pressure is on, and Montana has to eat it at the 26-yard line. McMichael gets the sack.
Well, that's a screen that's set up by the 49ers, and it's read by the Bears, and Joe really has nowhere to go with the football. Going to be a screen pass out to the left side of the 49er formation. Take a look at this. Watch the number of people inside here for the 49ers. Are going to work down to the line of scrimmage out here, and this is a setup all the way for Montana to dump it. They fake their pass blocks. Now they release down the line of scrimmage, and there's just no way that Joe can deliver that ball. The Bears collapse the pocket, and he has to eat it. What a big loss.
And McMichael having a great year. That's his 7th sack.
the clock had run down. Johnny Greer.
Delay. Offense. Still third down.
Third down and 21 now.
Defense is so disruptive. They almost become self-generating. They seem to start low emotionally and then build and build and build, and they continue to build. That's down here close to the crowd now, and you'll hear the crowd.
5:40 to go first half. 7-0 San Francisco. Third and 21 at the 22-yard line. Montana sacked at the 13-yard line. Al Harris comes all the way around. Dan Hampton put the pressure on from the inside and Dent from the other side.
And good coverage downfield. Montana had a quick release man, but he did not even have time to get to him.
The 49ers are taking a calculated risk. They're only going to send 2 receivers into the pattern and watch Jerry Rice up here get knocked down. Joe Montana really has nowhere to throw the football. They keep everyone else in for protection. You only have 2 guys in the pattern, and one of them's down on the ground. Where the heck is Joe Montana going to go with the football?
Except down, he sacked twice in a row for 23 yards. Helton gets the kick away, a low bouncing kick that McKinnon fields on the run at the 45-yard line. He's out of bounds at the 37. So Montana frustrated, and the Bears with their best field position of the game at the 37. 5 minutes to play in the half.
Against Mike Singletary, and there were times that he was out of control. He was so hyper. This guy now is so in control. He is the complete heart and soul of the Chicago Bears. If he's not making the play, you get the impression that his will makes the plays. Guy's that strong.
And we will feature him at halftime. A look at Singletary. Bears at the 49 37-yard line after the poor punt by Helton. McMahon starts by giving the ball to Shuey, who runs into his own man, but turns no gain into a pickup of about 5 to the 33-yard line. He initially had run into Thayer, and Jeff Fuller makes the tackle for San Francisco.
McMahon trying to explain where it all went wrong. Shuey, the versatile back that he is, corrected the air, who obviously was not his. Worked the back inside, made something out of nothing.
Well, you're getting the impression so far that this is not going to be a high-scoring ball game, and the Chicago Bears are in no position to squander this kind of field position. They've got to make something happen.
2nd and 6 from the 33-yard line. McMahon going deep for Anderson. He makes the catch. Inbounds at the 1.
That was threaded in there beautifully. Anderson just coming from the wing position, just kept it on the outside, and McMahon threw it in beautifully.
Not only that, but I think he's working against a defensive back in Jeff Fuller. It's Jeff Fuller who was lined up at the line of scrimmage here, number 49, and you'd think in that situation, defensive back on a running back, that the advantage goes with the defense. But Neil Anderson runs a good route, and give the credit there to Jim McMahon. You could not have thrown that any better.
1st and goal. Shuey the fullback, Anderson the tailback, Anderson the ball carrier, and no signal yet from the officials. He's about as close as you can get, but not in. Inches. 2nd down. 3:52 to go in the half.
I think the surge up front was good enough. It almost looked like Neil Anderson mistimed his jump and took off a little early. There was nobody there to stop him. He just couldn't go that far in the air, and I think we got to credit gravity with this tackle.
You know, we just saw a close-up of Anderson. I think he looked over to the sidelines and said to Mike Ditka, said, "Give it to me again. I'll take off a little later." I would be surprised if they don't do just that.
I think gravity is responsible for that tackle.
Now they want to think it over there. Get a little short on time, and McMahon, rather than lose 5 yards out of it, will call timeout.
Good play by McMahon. 3 minutes, 31 seconds left in the half. You don't want anything to go wrong down here and have to come over and face this guy. Good look at John Rowland behind Mike Ditka, the running back coach, as he's been here 4 years with the Bears. And
Could he play?
oh, could Johnny play?
One of the greats.
49ers have been very tough in these situations when the opponents this season have gotten inside the 5. As you can see, San Francisco has yielded only 43% of the time a touchdown when the league average is 3 out of 4, 75%, and that indicates how difficult it is to penetrate the 49ers this deep. Last week, the Bears, when they were driving against Dallas, gave the ball to McKinnon on a reverse to score a touchdown.
I wonder what that percentage is inside the 1 foot line.
Yeah, right.
I think it's a little higher.
You know, it's interesting, that last conversation on the sidelines, McMahon came over to talk to Ditka. Anderson came over with him. And I'm sure he was saying, let me try that one more time, Coach.
They send Stewie in motion and bring him back the other way, and it's McMahon. He's in for the touchdown. He only needed 2 inches, and he got 3 to the chagrin of the 49ers.
Oh, they're not. The 49ers aren't buying that at all.
That was a very close read. The guy on the bottom of that thing for sure is going to be Michael Carter. Big number 95. And one of the strongest nosemen you're going to find.
49ers couldn't have played that much better, but when you only have to move the ball about an inch. Let's take a look at this on the line of scrimmage. Keep in mind, here's the line. It's right here. All right, let's go ahead and run this thing and see where he gets. Yep, the ball crosses the line of scrimmage. Good call by the official.
Butler kicks it through. Good thing you're not a surveyor with that line, but we get the idea.
Well, you try it sometime.
Yeah, right. That drive started at the 37 after Helton's punt. Now they want Ditka for president again. They finally score against San Francisco after a game and a half.
How'd you like to debate that guy?
Yeah.
Reverse angle, you might even see it a little bit better.
All right, here's the other side. Again, the 49ers played extremely well, but
all you have to do is catch the front side of that line, as Dan's line showed you a moment ago.
I think the Bears looked closer to a touchdown from the other angle. Really, from that angle right there, it didn't look like McMahon got the ball across.
You know, going back a few moments ago, the play that led up to this, of course, the 2 sacks, but Bill Walsh is concerned about his punting game. He told us yesterday, he said, one of the fears I have, one of the almost nightmares that I have, is that being backed up in my end zone and having to punt away, getting a bad punt, and then watching what develops. And we just saw it happen a few moments ago.
3:28 to play in the first half. 7-7. Again, the significance of this game, if the Bears win, they'll continue to lead Minnesota by 2, and they push the 49ers 2 back of New Orleans and the game back of the Rams in the NFC West. Bears lose, they lead Minnesota by 1. 49ers will be tied for second with the Rams a game back of the Saints. 4-yard line, John Taylor. Tackled at the 20, number 92, Troy Johnson, reserve linebacker, makes the tackle.
We talked about at the top, Dan, I think we all agree that this game is much more important to the 49ers considering the division they're in. With New Orleans, they are definitely for real. The Rams are not going to come unglued. And after tonight, the 49ers have Minnesota, Phoenix, the Raiders, and followed by Washington. The game will bring you, then San Diego, Atlanta, New Orleans. It's going to be tough for them.
That's the problem you have the following year after you finish first, as they did last year. You play that tough schedule.
And look at the problems the 49ers are having communicating.
And the clock is down to 7 seconds, the 45-second clock. Loose ball.
They're going to call it down. The Bears will retain possession.
Rivera pouncing on it, but Heller comes up with it.
Roger Craig that time comes around and really gets stamped by the Bears. He gets a high-low job, and the ball comes loose. And watch out for the crowd again. They're not going to make it easy for the 49ers.
Rivera, of course, is the man who's playing a spot vacated by Wilbur Marshall. And Otis Wilson's out with injury, and, of course, the famed trade by Wilbur Marshall to the Redskins.
On 2nd and 10, Montana rolling out, throwing, had a man open, but intercepted by Duerson. Montana underthrowing his receiver, and the Bears are back in business again in 49er territory.
Well, all Dave Duerson Anderson does is go to the Pro Bowl. Doesn't matter whether it's at free safety, strong safety. Out of Notre Dame, Dave Duerson just reads this perfectly, because from now on it's nothing but improvisation. Montana's forced out of the pocket and makes a horrible throw, trying to get the ball to Heller, and serves it up on a platter. Just drops it in nicely there for Dave Duerson.
Big, hard-hitting safety that can come up and play the run and play the interception. Missed last week with a bruised kidney. Bears happy to have him back.
2:34 to go in the half. Chicago has 2 timeouts from the 36-yard line. They begin with Suey on the ground, taking it to the 32-yard line. Stopped by Charles Haley, number 94. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
Boy, it wasn't very long ago that the 49ers were firmly in control of the game. The Bears offensively weren't doing anything, and here in the matter of about a minute and a half, it has just done a 180.
49ers began the game with an 88-yard drive. Jerry Rice accounting for 81 yards on 3 receptions. McMahon lets the clock go down to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to go. 2 timeouts left for Chicago. The ball is at the 32-yard line, and the game is tied 7-7. Years ago,
Dick Stanfield.
behind him, William the Refrigerator Perry.
Out with a broken arm. Maybe back later this year.
2nd down and 6 for Chicago. A fake reverse. Anderson inside the 20. Run out of bounds by Fuller at the 19. A 1st down. Tom Thayer sprung him with a block on the cornerback. He took Tim McKyer right out of the play. 13-yard gain.
And the Bears, Travelers Man of the Year, was traveling on that one. Of course, that recognition because of the work away from the football field, and a very involved young man is Neil Anderson. And of course, the Travelers Man of the Year for the NFL will be named at the Super Bowl.
Neil lost his mother last year and wanted to extend a happy birthday greeting to his father looking on in Florida. As he picks up a 1st down at the 19-yard line, Suey goes in motion, and McMahon gives the ball to Anderson. Anderson takes it to the 10. It'll be 2nd down and 1. Jeff Fuller makes the tackle, and again the Bears have 2 timeouts. What they'd really love to do here is not only put the ball in the end zone, of course, but take as much time off the clock as they can in the process, so they let it tick down here.
Aren't you greedy?
Yeah.
But you're right. Starting to go for them, too, and the 49ers better start tightening the nuts down just a little bit. Screw it down a little tighter, because this Bear team, once they start to roll, they start to self-generate, and it happens on offense just like it does on defense for them.
2nd down and 2 from the 11-yard line. Anderson barrels his way for a 1st down. It'll be 1st and goal at the 7. Clock is running with exactly a minute now to play in the half.
And the Bears, a veteran offensive team, they're in no big hurry. They're going to be very deliberate, take their time. Jim McMahon just called a timeout. He's going to come over and talk about it, but with 55 seconds left in the 1st half, he still has 1 more timeout at his disposal. You're not going to see any herky-jerky movements here by the Bears offense. This guy is completely in charge.
There's the brain trust. That's Mike Ditka, of course, on the right end. Facing McMahon, and he'll probably do most of the talking, is Greg Landry, who calls a great deal of the plays. Mike, of course, always with an input.
Mike Singletary will be featured. We'll take a look at the 1st half highlights. The 49ers jumping off to a quick 7-0 lead on their 1st drive, which began at their own 12-yard line. Jerry Rice taking it in on a Joe Montana pass, but since then they have been stymied by the Bear defense, and Chicago has capitalized once on good field position and try to do it a 2nd time.
They've had a lot of success running the football. Big holes up the middle.
And not a bad time when you're running that ball that well, Dan, has come back with play action. And if you can't get the completion for the touchdown, well, at least you stop the clock.
On 1st and goal, Wendell Davis goes in motion. Everybody is to the right. Then McMahon looks over the middle and throws incomplete. And a flag goes down well after the play.
Down at the goal line. I mean, this is something that happened in the backfield. It looks like it's going to be against the Niners.
on a very late flag.
This will be good for half the distance. This will put the ball somewhere down inside the 4-yard line.
Very late, and there was a good play by Haley, who had made a terrific play on McMahon to force the incompletion. It'll be wasted.
Pass interference, 50 defense, first down.
That's the linebacker, Ricky Ellison.
I think he knocked down Ron Morris.
And that makes it 1st and goal at the 1.
1st and goal.
Bears send in their other tight end, Thornton, along with Moorhead. And line up in a double wing. With Stewie in motion, toss it to Anderson, and he gets stopped at the line of scrimmage with 45 seconds and the clock running. Ronnie Lott comes up to stop him. McMahon trying to hurry him up now. Muster coming into the game. They have 1 timeout remaining.
That was an unusual call by the Bears, going with a full-scale sweep, pulling both guards. You know, the chance is always there for penetration by the defense. That's what happened.
2nd and goal at the 1. Anderson, and what a tackle behind the line of scrimmage by Kevin Fagan, who penetrated and grabbed him from behind. And Chicago has to take its last timeout with 14 seconds. What a play.
Oh, and not only what a play, but the timing now, because the Bears really in a position where they're not going to be able to run the football because they may not be able to stop the clock again. Anderson had every intention of getting up in the air. The only problem is he's not strong enough to jump with Kevin Fagan wrapped around his waist. I think the odd call was the one on 1st down.
I agree.
Going with a full, what you used to call the old Green Bay sweep, pulling both guards, getting out front.
The discussion here now, if we're going to put it in the air, we got to make sure that we get the touchdown, or make sure you get the incompletion so we can get the field goal unit out on the field.
Exactly. The worst thing in the world is to throw a little screen and not get into the end zone and stay in bounds.
This will be into the end zone.
Well, it has to be, because they don't even have a down to play with. If they don't get in the end zone, you have to get your field goal team out, because the quarterback can't take the ball and down it and stop the clock, because that's 4th down. You'll turn it over on down.
Or just as costly would be a sack. 3rd down and goal from the 2. They can't stop the clock with a timeout. Stewie in motion. Fake to Anderson. McMahon throws into the end zone. It's dropped, and there's a flag. Moorhead had a sure touchdown, but there's a marker, and the clock is down to 8 seconds. Could be Lott against Suey. It's against San Francisco. Lott may have held Suey. 8 seconds now. It'll be a 1st down.
Holding, 96 defense, first down.
It's Daniel Stubbs, who was their top draft choice last year.
And I'll tell you where it is, guys. It's right here. Here's Stubbs. Watch Moorhead try to take an inside release, and watch Stubbs grab him and hold on. Stubbs is playing the run first, but watch him hold Moorhead right there. He's got a hold of him, and that's a good call by the official.
Meanwhile, Lott, as you can see at the top of the screen, also knocked the receiver down as well. McMahon, 2 deep, 4 seconds. It's 2nd down, so now Ditka sends in the field goal unit. But he's not a happy man right now.
Yeah, but how about the 49ers and the way they played defense? These guys had 1 defensive holding call, 1 pass interference, and they still don't let the Bears get into the end zone. So as sloppy as they were from a penalty standpoint, boy, they played the heck out of the Bears there.
As they have, as the opponents have gone inside the 5. We illustrated it before, how difficult it's been to score on them inside. So here they hold, and instead of 7, Butler, a 19-yard field goal attempt, kicks that through. And a victory of sorts there for the 49ers, even though they'll go into the locker room trailing at the half. They avert the touchdown. Chicago settles for the field goal, and the half is over on an 18-yard field goal by Butler. Halftime. Bears lead it 10-7. We'll return to Soldier Field in Chicago after this message from the National Football League and a word from your local station.
ABC's Monday Night Football Halftime Report. Brought to you by Taco Bell. Taco Bell has your order. Make a run for the border.
Soldier Field at halftime is electrified tonight. The Chicago Bears leading the San Francisco 49ers 10-7. And joining us at halftime once again is a pal and friend and a former great with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Lynn Swan, I know we had the complete story we thought last week on Mark Gastineau and Brigitte Nielsen. Obviously, we have an update.
Yes, I talked to his mother just before the game started, and Mark was at the doctor's office. Some of the stuff that's out, we don't know what's going on. We're going to wait until we hear facts instead of the rumors, but nothing really has happened since then. He's retired. She's not in any life-threatening situation, and we go on.
All right, a story that has us all concerned, and that, of course, deals with a friend of yours, the legendary, and a friend of mine, by the way, Terry Bradshaw, a story that has been developing and breaking over the past couple of days. What have you been able to find out about his condition?
Well, they thought that Terry Bradshaw had a tumor on or near his heart. He does not have that. It's scar tissue, probably from an old sternum injury. He was in the Harris Methodist Hospital in Bedford, Texas. He's released tonight. He will be just fine.
Okay, and we certainly do wish him well. We've been watching a very special football player tonight. We've looked into his eyes, so to speak, Mike Singletary, and he's not only special as a player, he's a special man off the field. And
a terrific individual. He's dedicated. He is a player who has great concentration. I have an old friend in San Diego named Charlie Kona who is fond of saying there are many people who have the talent to be great, but very few who want to work hard at it. Well, Mike Singletary is a player that works hard first before he does anything else. You might say in words that he is the professor of preparation. That's Mike Singletary. Every day, Mike Singletary studies game film, working to unlock the mysteries of an offense. It symbolizes his perseverance, and he is certain it is the key to his success.
Sometimes I'm asleep and I'll wake up at night, and I can't rest. It's a certain situation that I'm not familiar with. I have to get up and look at it. I need to see it in my mind. When I go out on the field, I like to know that they can't do anything that I haven't seen.
Mike Singletary grew up in Houston. He was often weak and sick as a child. His father was a Pentecostal minister. His mother didn't want him to play football because he might get hurt. But Mike persevered. And by his senior year at Baylor, he was one of the best linebackers in college football.
I'm one of those guys that was very, very blessed with just enough athletic ability. And the rest I had to work really hard for. So nothing really came easy for me. And that's probably my advantage. I'm sure it is. Because I've had to work so hard for everything, and I don't take it for granted.
On the field, Singletary takes special pride in two things. He keeps himself in excellent shape, and he's a clean player. One of the cleanest in the league, but sometimes his power is frightening, and his hits can be devastating like the one he gave to Steve Pallure of the Cowboys last week.
Every middle linebacker, or every linebacker, or defensive player works to get a great hit. And when it happens, first of all, you're excited. Then you turn around, and if the guy doesn't get up, I mean, you're like, come on, you've got to get up. You've got to get up. This is a game. I don't want it to be any more than a game. It'll always be a game to me. And when it gets to be more than a game, then it's time for me to get out.
Happy and you know it, clap your hands.
At home, Singletary is a gentleman who loves to spend time with his wife, Kim, whom he met at Baylor, and their two children, Matthew, age 7 months, and Kristen, 2 years old.
Clap your hands.
And then there are the times he spends alone, away from the family and football, in meditation about what God means to him and what Mike Singletary means to others.
I would like to be remembered as a person of integrity. Plain and simple. When I said something, you knew that you could count on it. And if I said that I was your friend, you knew that you could count on me until death. There's nothing ever false about me. I don't change with the weather.
Something else we found out about Mike Singletary at the urging of his wife Kim last year, he had his hearing checked. He found out that his hearing is deficient 35% in one ear and about 40% in the other. But through all of that, Singletary believes it helped him in his concentration, and he's a better listener. Certainly he can hear, Frank, the cacophony of respect he gets throughout Chicago.
Well, he has respect of everyone, both on the field and off, as we said before. Mike Singletary, a very special individual. Halftime continues here in Chicago, where we will return in just a moment. Stay with us.
If you listen to everybody, you could start wondering about your future in the Navy.
For 6 years, we've tried to make a sailor out of you.
I'm not signing up in the Navy. No more.
And you can't always depend on your buddies to help you.
I better get out of the Navy while I can. Every time you open up my mouth, you get me in trouble.
But after you talk to the right people, you'll find some reasons to start feeling pretty good about yourself.
Over San Francisco, the kind of game that we thought it would be, we hoped that it would be, and we hope you are enjoying. It's that kind of football game the Bears and the 49ers always seem to come up with. And why don't we go back and take a look at the first score? It was Jerry Rice's touchdown, his third reception on that drive, Dan, of 81 yards.
Well, it really was the Jerry Rice show in the first quarter. I mean, it looked like every time that Joe Montana went his direction, he was open. And really, the Bears playing an awful lot of zone against Rice, and now that's what they're working here.
And the irony is that Bill Walsh was saying he was concerned about his passing game, and his passing game held him in good stead on that very first drive. They really have been unable to establish anything on the ground, oddly enough, after the last 2 weeks.
The Bears got a big boost from their defense and a poor punt from the 49ers. They came back. This is Neil Anderson coming from a wingback position, got himself tied up with the safety, and an absolutely dead solid perfect pass.
And the one thing you can say about the Bears offense here in the first half is that at least they were opportunistic. They didn't do a whole lot, but when they got the good field position by 49er mistakes, they capitalized.
And that was the other thing that Walsh was worried about, the kicking game. Here was that bad pass thrown by Montana, the interception by Dewerson. And again, the Bears were able to capitalize in both instances on good field position for their 10 points.
And Dewerson, of course, a player that missed last week's game. They are more than happy to have him back. Quick thought about what you expect.
Well, you have to wonder about the points that the Bears lost. The Bears were really in a position to score a touchdown. They had to settle for a field goal here at the end of the first half. It'll be interesting to see how those points figure later on in the game.
Yeah, I think the 49ers will try to reestablish their running game, which did so well for them the last 2 weeks, last week in particular, and try to get the ball more to Roger Craig.
All right, we'll be coming back for the second half. Chicago and San Francisco is a good one. Stay with us.
Soldier Field, temperature now in the mid-30s. Clear skies, 10-7, the halftime score. Chicago on top by 3. Bears to kick off, John Taylor. And Terry Greer are back for San Francisco. Taylor from the 6. Loses the football at the 27-yard line. A big pileup.
No indication yet now.
It was stripped by John Shannon.
I like Rathman.
He pulled him out of there, didn't he?
If you're going to go after somebody, pull the kicker out, right?
It's the little one.
He goes right for Kevin Butler. Still no indication. This is strictly a tug down here. Who's got the best arm strength, the strongest hands? The last guy to break daylight with the ball has it. Oh, this is... stay like this, the better the chances are it's going to stay with the receiving team.
And it does.
Yeah. You better believe there's also some conversation going on out there. We would not like to bring you.
Yeah, the longer that it takes them to separate it, I think the more inclined the officials are to go ahead and give it to the team that had possession going in.
And Michael Walter is the man who somehow comes away with the football.
Well, you can see it stripped that time. Taylor loses it clearly.
It's kind of tough when you go creeping into that hole. You better blow it out full bore. Taylor's peeking around in there. That's not the way to bring it back.
You could throw darts to try to figure out who came up with the football there.
And the body posture indicates some sort of review from upstairs. I don't know what they're reviewing.
Yeah.
Upon further review of what? Of the pileup? I mean, what are we talking about?
I told you the system works.
Right. That was a quick review. All right. From the 27-yard line, first down. Craig. He's dropped by Rivera. Hit initially by Dent and then tackled by Rivera, a loss of 2. And Craig, who gained 190 yards against the Rams last week, has gained -4 tonight.
And I don't think Richard Dent could believe that as hard as he hit Roger Craig, that he didn't go down. I mean, he just totally surprised Craig, ducked underneath the pulling guard, McIntyre, and just crushed it, and he didn't go down.
Gained -4 is a contradiction in terms, but you get the idea. No running game tonight. They throw it to Rathman. 30-35 and out of bounds, and he has a first down. Run out by Dent. So Dent all over the field.
But in years past, Al, that is the 49er running game, what we just saw. The dump off to a running back.
The controlled passing game.
And when you watch Richard Dent, he's such a force out there. He's also very involved in a special project for a young man named Kenneth Jennings, a 17-year-old high school student from Simeon High School who was paralyzed from the neck down in a high school football game 3 weeks ago. Richard Dent heard about it, got some guys together. They raised almost $30,000, and they're really trying to help this youngster. You watch him, you know that he's also got the sensitive heart to go with it.
Here's Craig, and Craig finally picks up some positive yardage as he takes it to the 45 for a gain of 7. Singletary and Tate converge on the tackle. So Roger Craig, who led the league in rushing going into this weekend's games, but because Dickerson has now played the extra game and gained 169 yesterday, Dickerson, per usual, is on top. And Craig tonight, +3.
And look at that average, .06 coming in it tonight. He had a 5.6 yard per carry average. That's extraordinary when a back gets over 5 yards.
2nd and 3 from the 45-yard line. Montana too high for Craig. He was covered one-on-one by Rivera. It'll be 3rd down and a long 3 from the 45-yard line.
They're doing a good job on Craig, but if you saw the run that he made against the Rams, that 46-yard touchdown run, John Robinson said, that's Jim Brown. That's as good as I've ever seen. And it was that. He broke, what, 5 tackles on it?
At least 5. It's certainly one of the best runs I've seen in the last 5 years.
So he may be shut down, but he is also very explosive.
In back-to-back weeks, he has established new career highs in yardage. 143 the week before against Denver in the overtime loss. 3rd and 3. Montana fires over the middle, complete for a first down and more. Ron Heller takes it to the 33-yard line. The tight end got loose over the middle, and a first down for San Francisco at the Chicago 33.
And you won't see this very often, but the guy that Heller gets away from is Mike Singletary, the middle linebacker. Let's watch this play from behind. Singletary there to your left. He's going to come underneath with Heller. That's his man, and Mike Singletary in a position to make the tackle. Lost position, and Heller picks up another 7 or 8 yards.
1st and 10, San Francisco at the 33-yard line. Fake to Rathman, and look out, Montana gets sacked. Richard Dent.
That wasn't a fake. He tried to give it to him. He wanted to give it to him. Rathman either didn't want to take it, and Joe just held on to it. No, I guess it was, too.
Well, it's a trap setup. I mean, McIntyre, the right guard, pulls as if he's going to trap. I mean, watch the right guard, McIntyre. See him dropping, he pulls. But no,
it was all the way. But I saw the pulling guard. They made it look awfully good.
You could see it was a play pass all the way by the way that Montana held the football away from Rathman.
2nd down, 16 from the 39-yard line. Takes to Rathman again. Heller is open over the middle. And did he have possession? No, he never had possession. As he was hit at the 10-yard line by David Tate, the rookie out of Colorado, who was a cornerback in college, and now with the injury to Sean Gale is the free safety.
And the reason that Heller is the receiver is the injury to John Frank, the receiving tight end for the 49ers. Heller is not the best receiver. He's a good blocker, a good steady tight end. But he is wide open on this play. They're letting him go. They're covering.
It's going to be real close, Frank, as to whether Heller has possession. Let's watch this. No, he's bobbling the football. From behind, he had the required number of steps to have possession, but he never had control of the football.
They'll come back to him because they're covering him all the way with the linebacker. They just do not respect him as a receiver.
3rd and 16, and Montana looked over the defense, and with the clock ticking down to 3, the 45-second clock, he takes a timeout. 12:09 to play 3rd period. Chicago ahead by 3. Sweet. a few times, and I'm sure if you've seen any Peyton interviews, one of the things he says, he has a tough time watching the game. He can't spectate, but here he is on the sidelines again.
They bought the stadium.
He is an old soldier. He could have.
Third down, 16 from the 39-yard line after the timeout. Montana pressured, throws for Heller, throws behind him, and incomplete.
How about Richard Dent?
Again, pretty good little series there for Richard Dent.
Yeah, he comes on the loop to the inside. Take a look at this guy. Watch the loop to the inside. Dan Hampton works to the outside, and Steve Wallace, the left tackle, never even has a chance.
He couldn't even tackle him. He made the attempt.
Initially, he had to make a determination. Is this guy a linebacker or a defensive lineman? You know, they'll stand dead up. They'll get him down at a three-point stance.
Barry Helton now to accept the snap at his own 45. Angles that one for the far corner, and this one is a good one. So Helton, after a couple of errant kicks last week and a poor one tonight, setting up Chicago's touchdown. A beauty here. Corners it at the 6. Bears have the ball. This is very interesting. Going back to the last game of the '84 season, how do you beat the Bears? Well, almost never on Sunday. They're 41-4, 1-0 on a Saturday, 1-0 on a Thursday, and on Monday it's been Blue Monday, 4-4.
After this play, I want to touch on that a little more.
From the 6-yard line, Chicago starts this drive as Suey picks up one. Well, one reason, of course, Dan, is you never see Chicago against Tampa Bay or Green Bay on Monday.
On Monday night. And what's one of the things that Mike Ditka has done to try to combat that? I think the Bears are the only team in the NFL now to practice on Monday morning with a game that night. I mean, I have never seen a football team go out the day of a game, and yet the Bears were out here on the floor of Soldier Field at 10 o'clock this morning going through a practice. Basketball teams will do it, hockey teams will do it, but Mike Ditka, I think, the only coach in the NFL doing that with his club.
It was the players' idea. It was their idea. They wanted to do it.
Yeah, they feel that lying around all day in a hotel room, they get stale.
Second down and 9 from the 7-yard line. Suey goes in motion, and McMahon off the fake, has pressure, and McMahon is tackled for a safety. A safety by Charles Haley. He's in on the play, number 94. So the sack specialist, the pass rush specialist, gets him back of the goal line to make the score 10-9 and give the 49ers the ball back after the free kick.
Well, that is a play-action pass all the way by Jim McMahon, who takes a roll to the left, is set to throw there, and then for some reason doesn't throw the football. And I don't know if Jim wasn't aware of where he was or what, but that really is the quarterback's position, and really it's his time. If he doesn't see somebody, you've got to get rid of the ball. You can't go down there. I mean, I have to assume that Jim thought he was out beyond the goal line.
Carter was penetrating, and of course Haley coming around from behind.
I mean, credit the 49ers for putting a terrific rush in McMahon's face. But when you know you've got a play-action pass from out of your own end zone, there's no way you go down without at least attempting to ditch the ball somewhere. And Charles Haley, his second sack of the game tonight, and certainly the best one he's had all year. And I think Jim a little mad at himself for surrendering those points.
He always tries to make it happen. If there's one critique of McMahon, he wants to do it. He wants to get it done so desperately. That time he just held it a little too long.
Free kick fielded by Taylor, and John from his 39 takes the ball out to the 46-yard line. So Montana and the offense take over there with 10:54. Montana led them on an 88-yard opening drive, but since then the 49ers have bogged down, and that's been the story on their last 4 possessions. 3 plays and a punt, 5 plays and a punt, 2 plays and an interception, and then a decent drive, but that bogged down, and they had to kick it again from the 46-yard line. Stuffed after a gain of 1 by big number 99, Dan Hampton, in his 10th year out of Arkansas and playing as well as ever.
Well, he's really playing where he belongs, and that's on the inside. Dan Hampton has alternated during the course of his career, playing defensive tackle, playing defensive end, and he's really much more effective playing on the inside. Remember, we're in Philadelphia a couple weeks ago, and you never get in a conversation with Buddy Ryan without him talking about his favorite Bear players, Dan Hampton being one of those, and the first thing Buddy says is, well, at least they've got him back on the inside where he really belongs. Buddy Ryan's opinion.
Second down and 8. Fake to Craig, and then he shovels it over the middle to Craig. Craig did everything on that play. Went in motion, took the play fake, and then caught the pass. And he comes up, I think, about 6 inches shy of a first down at the 45-yard line.
Obviously the secondary receiver, but a very live receiver at all times for Montana. You can believe that he knows where Craig is at all times. Very close to the first down.
Well, some job by the 49er offensive line up front. Joe stood there with the football a good 6 seconds before he decided to dump it off to Roger Craig, and even then he didn't have to.
The Bears have really done. They've shut down the 49ers run, but in doing so, they've given up a little bit of the pass rush.
3rd and inches from the 44-yard line. And on an end around, it's Rice for the first down and out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Second time he's carried the ball tonight. They love to get it into Rice's hands, not only through the air, which they normally do, of course, but on end arounds and reverses as well. It's the 9th time he's carried the ball on a rush this season. First down.
That is a risky call. I mean, it picks up a first down, but that is also a play that's capable of losing 3, 4, or 5 yards if somebody on the far side decides to take a big upfield rush right into the play. I mean, Bill Walsh, he's the genius because it worked.
Don't you know that he looked at film after film after film, got the frequency. He was fairly confident with it.
In this business, they put the word genius down in pencil.
Yeah, they put it down after it worked.
At the 39-yard line, Montana going deep for Rice, and he is out of bounds. Made the catch, but out of bounds.
It looked like he got 1 foot in. I think everybody in this stadium is sitting back and letting the lump settle out of their throat a little bit. Watch this throw by Montana.
He is electrifying. That ball's in the air. Everyone saw Rice, and they held their collective breaths. And he comes down with the 1 foot. Good call. Not even the 1 foot inbound.
Yeah, didn't even get either one of them in.
Good play defensively by the rookie, David Tate, to get over there. Montana had to lead him to the outside.
But look at the study and concentration. Jerry Rice.
2nd and 10. Craig, great spin move, but can't go much further as he takes it to the 37-yard line.
If he keeps working at it, someday this guy may make it in this league. What a move.
That's an exciting 3-run you're ever going to see. I mean, it have been stopped for a loss. Spins, twists, uses power, strength.
I don't know which one of the sensory systems that Roger Craig used there to decide when to spin.
Old factory.
Look at this. Richard Dent right in his face, and coaches will take credit for that, but I'm afraid you're born with it.
3rd down and 7 from the 36-yard line. 10-9. Chicago on top. 8:25 to go in the 3rd quarter. And Montana, a flag is thrown. The catch is made at the 18-yard line by Mike Wilson.
That's that 2-receiver offense of the 49ers. When they read the Bear defense, they read the blitz, they send the 2 receivers down. This time, the Bears, even with keeping all those people in, are forced to hold the football.
And negate the play, holding against San Francisco. Take away the Wilson reception, make a 3rd and long.
Holding. 89 offense. Still 3rd down.
Tight end Ron Heller.
Pretty obvious, too. A major league takedown right here. Here's Heller lined up at tight end. Watch him after the inside move just drag his guy to the ground.
They only 2 receivers out, top of your screen. 49ers protecting Montana, and they get the ball upfield, but they get the holding call.
Heller all the way with the hold. Just bulldogs Ron Rivera and drags him to the ground.
3rd and 17. 49ers with 4 wide receivers. Only Rathman in the backfield. He stays in the block. Montana going deep for Rice, way out of bounds. Covered well.
4 wide receivers are eliminating more quarterbacks in the NFL this year. they decide to come and unload, that's when they're going to get hit no matter whether they release the ball or not. You're just playing a guessing game with the defense.
How many times do you figure that Jerry Rice and Joe Montana work on that pattern during the course of a week getting ready for a game? And don't you know that every New York Giant fan in the country cringes when they see Jerry Rice flying down the near sideline?
That one, of course, the one that pulled it out with a 78-yard touchdown in the final minutes.
So do Bengal fans after last year.
That's right.
Barry Helton angles this kick. And this one is another beauty. So Helton, who had a poor outing against the Rams last week and a poor half, earlier kicks one out at the 6, and this one goes out at 7. Bears by a point. College football at 3:30 Eastern Saturday. 10-9 Chicago. Bears have the ball at their own 7. The last time they were down here, McMahon got sacked for a safety. Off the play fake, Anderson makes the catch at the 10. We thought on the replay that Haley should get credit for the sack on the safety. The official scorer for the moment has given it to Roberts. And the funny thing is Carter was actually the other guy in on the play. So that will be, I'm sure, subject to further review.
Yeah, Haley does get around, doesn't he? He was out covering Anderson out of the backfield. We've seen him get his pair of sacks tonight, very close to a safety. Penetrated and in McMahon's face over and over. Now they use him to cover a back out of the backfield.
Second down and 6. Moorhead goes in motion. And Anderson swings to the outside and gets tackled by the upcoming Eric Wright at the 14. I say subject to review, subject to official scoring review. Football, much like baseball, sometimes after the game, a hit's changed to an error, vice versa. Sometimes the scorer looks at tape or film, and during the week, you'll find out that somebody who was originally given a sack is given a half a sack, or they change it.
What you're saying is tomorrow, somebody's going to complain about it. Probably Michael Carter.
Probably Charles Haley.
Yeah.
Won't be him.
Well, who knows? Could be in some of the contracts.
Yeah. Third down 2 from the 15-yard line. 6:22 remaining in the third quarter. Morris in motion. McMahon on a short roll. Sends one out, and it's caught by Suey, who got position on Charles Haley as they isolate the fullback on the linebacker. The old story.
They're asking Haley to do an awful lot. He is flat exhausted. He covered Anderson a moment ago out of the backfield. Now they put him on Suey. Let's take a look at it again. He's a big man. 230, 35 pounds. Suey out of the backfield, and Haley in hot pursuit, and a good touch by McMahon to get it there.
Well, one of the things the 49ers asked Charles Haley to do was lose some weight coming in this year. He dropped 10 pounds down to 230, and for that reason, they had planned to use him more in their coverage scheme. But I agree, you're asking a great deal of an individual, regardless of how talented he is. So on one moment, rush the passer, and then next time around, cover a back 30 yards down the field.
He's wiped out right now. The Bears, where he is the principal pass rusher for these 49ers. Now they're going to give him a breather. If they had him on 2 full sprints, they expect him to rush the passer, and they're going to give him a little break.
And keep in mind that really the temperature is in the favor of the players tonight. With it being in the mid-30s, it's certainly not the heat that's going to bring you down. So when you see a highly conditioned athlete like Charles Haley that's forced out of a game in the mid-30s, you have to wonder if it's really maybe not something more than just being a little bit tired. I don't know, Frank. He may have fallen on the sidelines and injured himself somehow.
Take a look at this. Amazing. The Bears have not scored a point in the third quarter of the season. 88 in the second, nada in the third. And we're in the third. First and 10 from the 35-yard line. McMahon off Anderson's hand. Second down. Haley out of the game. That's the bad news. The good news is we get the word from scoring. They've given Haley the sack that we thought he had the first place.
You know, we really ought to change that graphic. The Bears are -2 in points in the third quarter.
That's right.
Here's the safety again. We'll look at it from behind. You see Roberts number 91 there on the inside, but this is Charles Haley coming all the way from the outside, and he's the first guy there. He's the first guy that gets arm contact on Jim McMahon. Michael Carter, Larry Roberts there to clean up, but I think that's the correct call. Haley should get that safety. They're checking Haley out of the bench.
2nd down and 10. I've got an addendum to this in a second. You're not going to believe it. 2nd and 10 from the 35-yard line. And McMahon is run out of bounds at the 37. The case of the evasive sack. They're now giving Roberts and Haley a half a sack apiece.
A point apiece.
Stay tuned.
Why, is that half a safety now? Is that...
Yeah, that's point apiece. You're right.
Why not? It's a team game anyway, right? Let them share in it. Meanwhile, I think Haley came back out onto the field, didn't he?
He does.
My eyes aren't all that good from up here, but
yep.
I thought I saw 94 come in. Yeah, there he is.
3rd down, 8. Ball at the 37-yard line.
I'd rush Haley this time.
From the shotgun. Haley lined up on the right side. Here he comes. For the moment, he's taken out of the play. Then he's taken down again, and McMahon slides down short of the first down at the 43. Griffin gets credit for the tackle, but it's going to be 4th down and 2.
Haley,
get an idea of why he gets tired. Just watch him.
Watch him go
out there.
Watch him go all the way upfield. Pretty effectively blocked by Wojciechowski. But now he's going to take off after McMahon. He's got a shot at him. And then that's Mark Bortz who comes in and just drops the bomb on him. And Haley's heading out again.
Oh, is he happy McMahon didn't make that first. Brian Wagner to punt. John Taylor back at the 15-yard line. 49ers trying to set up a return. Taylor from the 19-yard line, and he can only return it 2 yards right into the arms of big number 97 for Chicago. That's Sean Smith out of Grambling. 4 minutes, 7 seconds to go. 3rd quarter, Soldier Field. Chicago 10, San Francisco 9. One of the funny things, Buffalo, Cincinnati, and New Orleans are each 7-1, but a lot of the experts figure the best 2 teams in the league are right here. Go figure.
I think it's pretty universal. Most of them figure that these are 2 top teams, at least at the moment.
That scares me.
What, the experts?
Absolutely right.
They are frightening.
10-9, Chicago on top at the 23-yard line. San Francisco begins this drive with Montana fading to throw. A flag goes down. In fact, I think the clock had run out prior to the snap, and we could have another delay, or no, it's illegal procedure this time. But before the inception of the play, no play. 49ers.
False start, 74 offense. Still first down.
To some, they appear to be changing the character of this team from a passing team, one with ball control through the air, to rushing. And as you can see, though, they've done a great job on the ground. Last week, 6.13 yards per carry against the Rams. But tonight, they're running into the #1 defense in the league and the #1 rush defense as well.
Well, they've been doing about 188 yards, and now Mike Singletary is limping off the field. That's not good. Reaches down below his left knee. Could be a cramp.
1st down and 15 at the 18-yard line. And Greg Clark, a rookie from Arizona State, number 58, spells Singletary in the middle. And that hasn't gone unnoticed, obviously, by San Francisco. Rathman to the 21-yard line. He is stopped there by Steve McMichael, among others. And there's Clark, number 58, in on the play as well, wearing Wilbur Marshall's old number.
Yeah, and boy, did he get a rookie's indoctrination on that last play.
Looks like Darth Vader in there was behind that shield.
He got double teamed and he just got buried.
12th round, that's the last round of the draft. Bears had 9 of their draft choices make the 47-man roster. On 2nd and 12, Montana to Rathman, underthrows him. Incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 12.
And boy, did Joe get dropped on that one.
Hampton and Harris came charging through.
Dan Hampton just collapses Jesse Sapolo, the left guard.
Joe playing with very sore ribs, very sore elbow, and a sore body all around. Telling us a bit about the injuries last night when we had a chance to visit with him. And When he started to talk about him, you think back over the years, and surgery to the back, all the things that he's gone through.
Yeah, he says he still feels the after effects of that. His right leg becomes numb very often. Totally numb. Montana going deep for Wilson, but he's double covered and no chance. Dewerson and Richardson had him sandwiched. So 4th down, and the punting unit comes in.
Again, the 49ers keeping everyone in but 2 receivers, and the Bears are picking up on this very quickly now. Those 2 receivers have been covered by 3 on one side, and that time by 2.
Nobody out but Wilson and Jerry Rice, and that's intentional by the 49ers. They worked all week on keeping everyone in. They didn't want Joe Montana to take a beating at the hand of the Bears, the way virtually every quarterback that they have played so far this year. Keep in mind, 4 guys have been sent to the sidelines. Trudeau, Chuck Long, and last week both the Dallas quarterbacks.
Barry Hilton, the 4th round selection out of Colorado. McKinnon juggles for the moment at the 32-yard line and runs it back out to the 36. He is stopped there by Bill Romanowski. 3:02 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Chicago has the ball, and they lead 10-9. Again, Troy Aikman bidding for the Heisman Trophy. You'll see him in action against Washington State. The Bruins unbeaten, #1. Against Washington State, or Iowa taking on Indiana. Indiana a loser for the first time to Michigan.
A lot of jousting out on the West Coast to see who gets to play Michigan in the Rose Bowl.
And then we'll be in Indianapolis. Halloween night, the Broncos. And will they have Elway back? We don't know right now against Indianapolis. And Eric Dickerson coming off a big day yesterday at San Diego. Shuey picks up 5 as he takes it out to the 41-yard line. Michael Carter making the tackle.
I would have to assume that before this Bear offensive team came out on the field that their coach Mike Ditka had a few words with them on the sidelines and says, hey guys, I don't know how our defense can play the Niners any better than they're doing. You guys haven't done a thing here in the second half. Let's see if you can put a drive together and maybe get some points. The Bear defense has certainly played as good as you can do against the 49ers in this 3rd quarter, and that conversely the Bear offense hasn't really done a thing.
2nd down, 5 from the 41-yard line. Anderson on a sweep. Nice move. Takes it to the inside and brings it out to the 45-yard line. He's about a half-yard shy of a 1st down. 3rd down and inches with 2 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter.
It really is a classic matchup, though. We talk about the Bears having the #1 defense. They also have the #6 offense coming in, well, at least after 7 games. You don't hear much about that. You hear mostly about McMahon, and they can move the football. They have led the league through 7 games in times of possession. So, the 49er defense, they're playing awfully well.
You saw there Neil Anderson out rushing the entire 49er team.
3rd and inches from the 46-yard line. Anderson goes in motion, and McMahon himself picks up the 1st down on a sneak to the 47-yard line.
It was a little clearer that he got the 1st down on that one than it was that he had the touchdown on the quarterback sneak in the 1st half. Good surge that time by the Bear offensive line. What a perfect night for a football game. A perfect environment, the setting here in Chicago, Soldier Field. If you're from the Midwest, tonight's the kind of a night you'd like to be on a hayride.
Oh, yeah?
If you aren't at a football game.
Yeah, where are you going to get a wagon big enough for that? Give me a break.
From the 47-yard line. Taking the ball into 49ers territory as he crosses the 50. Yep, under an old possum hunting moon.
My only problem was that they always asked me to pull the wagon.
Belly up to the trough, and away we go.
Dates were tough when I was in high school. I was the only 8-year-old with a mustache in school.
I had 15 shoes.
He's just kidding, folks. Dan was a little scat back in junior college. Waning seconds of the period. 2nd down and 6 from the 49-yard line. And the final play of the 3rd quarter is Shuey moving ahead to the 44, where it will be 3rd and 2. And so the Bears go another third quarter without scoring, but they still have the lead 10-9 after 3. Back in Chicago after this message about an upcoming show on ABC and a word from your local station. In Chicago, Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Dierdorf. Quite a contrast to last year when the 49ers beat Chicago 41-0. Tonight, Bears on top, 10-9. Start the fourth quarter, third down, a long yard for Chicago at the San Francisco 45-yard line. With McKinnon going in motion. And Stewie looking for the first down and trying to stretch for it, but he's shy. He's shy by a yard, 4th and 1. Only one turnover in the game through the first 45 minutes. The Montana interception.
And time of possession again, lopsided, but again, the Bears not pulling away for sure. The one that sticks out to me, the 35 rushing yards for San Francisco. I mean, Roger Craig has 190 by himself last week, but nothing new to see a team not able to consistently move the football on the ground against the Chicago Bears. They've averaged 188 yards per game.
Bears sending the punting unit in. They may let the clock run down, try to get the 49ers to jump offside, but instead they do snap it with 4 seconds remaining on the clock, and Wagner angling the kick.
Poorly.
Yeah, not good.
I think Wagner's going to say, I lost my concentration when I had to field that high snap.
And Lynn Stiles, the special teams coach, is right there to try to help the official out. Out of bounds it goes at the 27-yard line after that high snap. A 17-yard kick. And so Ditka watches his defense, the top defense in the league, try to thwart the 49ers again, as they've done on every occasion tonight, outside of that first drive.
Yeah, but you talk about a firecracker where the fuse is burning. You really have to wonder if they're capable of keeping the 49ers down for a whole nother quarter.
From the 27-yard line, Montana underthrows Craig. Second down. Dent again put the pressure on Joe that time.
And Richard comes up limping a little bit. He's hobbling back towards the Chicago huddle. He's been all around the football tonight. I asked him in their locker room this morning, what would be a good night tonight? 3 sacks, 4 sacks? He said, you're in my neighborhood. That's what this guy lives for, rushing the quarterback. He's been close all night.
2nd and 10.
Oh, false start. Right tackle came clear up out of his stance. Harris Barton. That's a no-no. People like a 99 sort of intimidates you into those sort of moves.
False start, 79 offense. Still 2nd down.
I think you'll see a lot more of those false starts against a team like Chicago, against people like Hampton and McMichael and Dent than you would in another football game.
2nd and 15 from the 22-yard line. Craig makes the juggling catch, but pays the price. Thrown back. Forward progress after the 23-yard line. Ron Rivera.
I think it's time to go ahead and credit the Chicago secondary with a whole lot of superb coverage here in the second half in particular. Look how often that Joe Montana has had all this time to stand back in his own backfield, and repeatedly he's forced to dump it off to a running back who's only 3 or 4 yards away. That's because no one is open downfield. And reflective of their game plan, too, to keep people in, make sure the Montana is not going to be popped back there. So many times they only have 2 receivers out.
Vince Oman, the defensive coordinator. It's a timeout for the 49ers. It's been a somewhat maligned secondary as well with the cornerbacks, and also the rookie free safety Tate, but doing the job. Timeout San Francisco, 13:15 to go. Welcome back to Rome. That's what that looks like. The Christians and the Lions.
And the crowd contemplating the thumbs up or the thumbs down for the 49er offense. And I think you can hear thumbs down is the rule.
3rd down and 13 after the timeout from the 23-yard line. Montana, short drop and a sack at the 17-yard line. Richard Dent in the neighborhood very much.
Well, you better slow him a little bit at the line of scrimmage. You give him about a 3 or 4 sprint. No way you're going to pick him up at the back.
He's actually knocked down. Richard jumps over the top of the lone setback in the 49er backfield. I mean, he's going to land on his head if he doesn't land on top of Joe Montana. There's Tom Rathman. Watch him go to cut Richard Dent. Actually does cut him, but he lands right on top of Joe Montana.
Barry Helton to punt. McKinnon, another short kick, takes a decent 49er bounce and rolls out of bounds at the 49 of Chicago. But another bad kick, a 33-yard punt.
You're going to block Dent. You're a setback. You better be moving up towards Dent. You wait for him. That's what you get.
Walsh in his 10th season. Ditka in his 7th. Both men own Super Bowl rings. Walsh twice, Ditka once as a coach.
It's just that Mike's is bigger.
Yeah, right. By necessity. Chicago, after the bad punt by Helton. Sanders is in the game as a running back on first down from the 49-yard line. They send Thornton in motion. Suey lost the grip on the ball, and it's all he can do to get his back as Larry Roberts tackles him back at the 40-yard line. Coming up tonight on Nightline, Campaign 88 with Jeff Greenfield. The subject will be the ad wars. It's been the most negative campaign in recent history, but how much do these ads really affect the way we vote? Nightline tonight following your late local news.
That was really a fumbled, attempted reverse. The Bears were going to run a reverse on that play. Wendell Davis was going to come around and take the handoff from Suey. And ends up being really a colossal loss. 8 yards for the Bears.
2nd and 18 from the 42-yard line. McMahon dropped from behind by Haley. He gets a sack at the 39-yard line.
And that one will not be subject to review. That's nothing but a hustle sack and a speed sack for Charles Haley. Watch him go all the way upfield, never intending to go inside. Wojciechowski almost drops him to the ground, but athletically, McMahon has absolutely no chance of outrunning Charles Haley.
You look at it this way, you see how fortunate McMahon was, not even seeing Haley, that he was holding on to the football. Haley, with his tackle, tries to strip the football. He grabs it, slides the hand down, and McMahon holds on to the football. Haley's having some night.
3rd and 20, McMahon out of the shotgun from the 40-yard line. Bears by 1. 11:15 to go. Deep. Too short. Picked off at the 20-yard line by Tim McKyer.
And Charles Haley made that happen partially because he just drills Jim McMahon. He beats Wojciechowski again, gets inside, and just puts a tremendous shot on McMahon. Watch this. Watch Haley. Now he's going to work to the inside. There's the spin. And Jim is taking a beating on the inside.
And he also forces him to throw that ball before he wanted to. Poorly thrown football hung up there forever, and McKyer comes down with it.
In effect, it's not that bad in the sense that it's about as long as a punt would have gone. It would have been 4th down anyway had it been incomplete. It's a 40-yard pickoff, and on a reverse and a throw by Rice, he hits Heller for a first down, and Heller is thrown out of bounds at the 40-yard line.
How about both these teams opening up their last 2 drives with some sort of a gizmo play? And I think this one's going to come back.
Yep. Ineligible receiver downfield. After a 19-yard gain, somebody wasn't on the same page. Rice has thrown 2 passes this season prior to this one.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Number 62 offense. Still first down.
That's Guy McIntyre. The irony is McIntyre sometimes lines up as an eligible receiver. In fact, he's caught a touchdown pass this year, but he wasn't eligible on this play.
Here's McIntyre, the right guard. Watch the line of scrimmage here. Watch where he ends up at the conclusion of the play. Keep in mind now, the line of scrimmage is the 21. McIntyre's making a block, but there he is, a good 4 yards downfield when the ball's delivered. That's a heads-up call by the official.
1st and 20 from the 11. Roger Craig to the 19-yard line. Stop by Al Harris. It'll be second down and about 12 upcoming.
If you're wondering how much leeway the officials will give you in a situation like that, you get a yard within the line of scrimmage. And if you find yourself beyond that, you better hustle to get back there, or what works a lot of times is just drop flat on your face. That way you avoid detection a lot of times.
So seldom called, though, isn't it, Dan, when you're working a block and you're actually trying to work a block?
Yeah, if you've got contact with someone, they'll let you get away with it if you're actually fronted up on someone.
Second and 13, and it's dropped by Craig. Singletary was in the area. Third down. Third and 13 with 10:14 remaining.
Very late flag.
Another flag, yep, to 26 against Chicago. Illegal contact.
I was going to say that might be a penalty against Mike Singletary for scaring Roger Craig.
Illegal contact, 27 defense. First down.
Mike Richardson, the cornerback.
He was way away from the play, all tied up with Rice.
Watch Singletary working on Roger Craig, and you will not convince me that Roger Craig does not see Mike Singletary coming at him, and he drops that football.
He heard the deep breathing.
It's a first down, first and 10 at the 23-yard line. Flags down at the 39-yard line, so Montana improvises, picks up the first down. Singletary's eyes, it looks like a Margaret Keane painting.
How would you like to be someone behind a counter and have to tell him that you don't have what he came to pick up? I'm sorry, Mr. Singletary, but we're out of glazed donuts this morning. Would you like something else? I love that guy's intensity, and I love those eyes. They're just,
and it just lifts an entire ball club with him.
49ers at the 38-yard line. Craig finally breaks one, gets it out to the 50, and a first down. Ron Rivera makes the tackle.
good hold to the right side that time. A well-executed sweep by the 49ers. And Roger Craig, rather than pursuing it all the way to the outside, ducks it back up to the inside, leaves his blockers, and picks up the first down.
About the first sweep that they have been effective with tonight. And that's what Ditka, who said at the very top of the game, wanted to take away. He's been able to do it. You can see why he wanted to take it away. Craig turns it back up against the grain. He pops for 10 so quickly.
At the 50, first and 10. Montana hit as he throws and incomplete, intended for Craig, and he's right there, visited by Dan Hampton.
Well, they've met at the Pro Bowl on several occasions.
Both have been in the league for 10 years.
Yeah, but at least it was in the locker room. They were on the same team. That's the way Joe Montana would like it. The 49er offensive line here gives way to a stunt. See McMichael come to his right, and Hampton loop back to his left, but Dan sees nothing there and smartly comes back to the right again. And Joe Montana, very quietly here in the second half, is getting hammered.
And he's already been sacked 4 times, several near sacks, second down 10 at the 50-yard line. Craig in motion. Montana too short for Craig. Craig had gotten behind the defensive back, Luerson, but the pass underthrown. Third down and 10.
Frank, when I see Joe Montana throw a football like that, it really makes me wonder whether his right arm and right elbow are really where they should be. Because that's the kind of a pass that Joe Montana excels at. You rarely see him make a pass this bad in this type of situation.
Craig is wide open at this point.
That thing just has nothing on it.
And he told us last night it hurts, but they tell me it's not hurting me. In other words, I can do no more damage than what I've already done.
Diminishing returns for Montana tonight. Third down and 10 at the 50-yard line. And Montana, and no flag on the play. Very close.
McMichael leveled Montana again. I don't know how many times he's been down. He's been sacked 4 times, but he has been down on his back over and over after he's released the ball tonight.
Well, in every game, just about every game this year, Walsh at one point or another has gone to the bench for Steve Young. Not without much success, though, which is one reason Montana continues tonight.
And the Bear defense, again, has just been extraordinary here in the second half. And you have to wonder if Bill Walsh isn't close to going with Steve Young to see if he can get something happening with his mobility.
Pelton, his 8th punt of the night is a floater, and fair caught by McKinnon at the 19-yard line. After a 31-yard kick, there's Young. Jackets still on. 8:21 to go, fourth quarter. Chicago leading San Francisco 10-9. In a way, very much the type of game we expected, a very low-scoring game and a tight game.
When you've seen as much football as we have, you get the impression that if the Bears don't do something offensively, they're going to lose this football game. Even though they have the lead, you just have to wonder if they can rely on their defense to play the way they played up to now. I mean, it's time for the Bears offensively to do something if they want to win this ball game.
8:21 to go, fourth quarter. Chicago with the ball after the Hilton punt at the 20-yard line, 1st and 10. Bears lead 10-9. Munster for 2. Stopped by Roberts. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Jeff Fuller also coming up to help out.
I'll go back to the top of tonight's telecast, and we talked about the #1 defense of the Bears, but the 49ers were #5 coming in. So you hear so much about their offense, and they're awfully good defensively, and now the Bears are going without the huddle.
2nd down and 8. McMahon too high, intended for Dennis Gentry. 3rd down. Stop 7:43.
I think Steve Young has begun to throw the football and warm up on the far side. Yeah, there he is. The lefty is starting to limber up, and it's an interesting decision here for Bill Walsh. I mean, on the one hand, you got Joe Montana, who has done everything a quarterback can do in this league. He comes off the bench and wins the Giant game that we talked about earlier. But yet, the extraordinary mobility of Young, couple that with the fact that Montana has taken a terrible beating here in the second half.
Came off the carpet to do the same thing in New Orleans.
3rd and 8 at the 22-yard line. Knocked down, 4th and 8. So the 49ers will get it back, and we'll see who comes in the quarterback. Charles Haley knocked that one down. I suspect we might have seen Young earlier, or not for the last couple of weeks. He was ineffective against Denver in the overtime loss. Last week they put him in for 2 series against the Rams, and the Rams overcame a 10-point deficit and took the lead, and Montana had to bail him out.
I think the 49ers are going to get the ball back in real good field position. I don't think that would be what Bill Walsh would like to do. We'll wait and see. You can't tell for sure what he's going to do on any given play.
Credit the 49ers defensively. They just smothered the Bears.
Brian Wagner's 6th punt of the game is a line drive. It's the 14th kick of the game overall. Taylor from the 35. Into Bears territory. And a good run back to the 36-yard line. John Taylor. And it's Montana who comes back in to guide the 49ers here with 7:23 left on the clock.
I think you got to stay with him. You have good field position. He's the guy that's kept you in there so many times in the past. And he has just run into a very tough defense tonight.
And as I said before the Bears took over the football, they better do something or they might lose this thing. And they've got their back up to their own goal line here, only on the 35.
Nothing doing for Tom Rathman through the middle. He stopped by Richard Dent, who has 2 sacks tonight. And several tackles, and it's 2nd down and 10.
There's a decision, conference upstairs. The play given to Steve Young, the signal into Montana.
2nd down, 10 from the 35-yard line. Craig stays in bounds and is finally run out by Singletary and Troy Johnson. You know, a thing to keep in mind here, the 49ers are moving. 6:40 to go. Keep in mind they used 2 timeouts earlier in this half. They're down to just 1.
And it's difficult to imagine 2 defensive teams playing any better than both the Niners and the Bears have played in this ball game. I mean, we have 19 total points between these 2 offensive ball clubs, and there goes the 49ers using their final timeout of the second half.
They are out of timeouts with 6:40 to play.
And that, you know, that is really, I'm really amazed he took a timeout there. I know it's 3rd and 9, but in a close ball game to be without timeouts with this much football to play, uncomfortable.
Interesting, their kicker, Mike Coper, they have allowed him to kick many times from 50 and over. This season he's had attempts from 55 and 62, so they know he can reach it from way out.
But his longest field goal this year is from 40 yards.
That's his best.
And that was last week against the Rams. There he is, and he's the man who has taken the spot long occupied by Ray Wersching. Coper won the job. He's 0 for 5 beyond 40. So right now they're 3rd and 9. And if they don't gain a yard on this play, you're looking at a 52-yard attempt. 3rd and 9. Montana lost it, intended for Rathman, underthrown, broken up by Troy Johnson. The Oklahoma rookie bats it down, 4th and 9.
Boy, there you have to question about the elbow once again. He's rolling to the right, an easy delivery ordinarily for a quarterback, and now he underthrows once again. A few moments ago, he underthrew what could have been a touchdown to Craig. That should have been an easy flip. Plenty of room. He just did not get it over.
You really look at Johnson, though, and the way he played it. You have to admire the way he was in no man's land. You have to make a decision. Do I come up and pressure the quarterback, or do I go ahead and drop off into coverage? And boy, he made the right decision.
Well, Montana will spot the ball at the 41. It's a 51-yard attempt. His longest is 40, and the kick is not even close.
Well, get a thrill out of that one.
And a standing ovation here at Soldier Field for their defensive team. Nothing new to see the guys in the blue shirts playing defense the way they played it here tonight. Nothing new.
I'll tell you, if we were in San Francisco, they could do the same thing there for the 49ers defense.
Absolutely.
It's been that kind of game. All the stars, the Rice, the Montanas, the McMahons. The real stars tonight have been on the defensive side of that line of scrimmage.
So it's 10-9 Chicago, and the Saints and Rams have to love every moment of this. If the 49ers lose, New Orleans would lead the Rams by a game and San Francisco by 2. Bears at the 34-yard line. 6:28 to play. And if the Bears can start chewing up yardage and making first downs, the 49ers are dead. They don't have a timeout. And they begin on the ground with Sanders.
You know, here's something to think about. Al, here's something to think about as we watched Cofer miss that field goal. How difficult it must be to make field goals here at Soldier Field. And I look at the case of Kevin Butler, the Bears kicker. He is an 81% field goal kicker on the road, but only a 64% kicker here at his home field, Soldier Field. The wind swirls here a great deal. It's windy almost every game that's played here, and it's tough to kick a pressure field goal that wins a ball game here.
And now natural surface.
2nd and 7 from the 37-yard line. Anderson. And a first down out to the 46-yard line. This is exactly what Chicago needs. Running plays, stay in bounds, take the clock down. 5:30 to go.
This is where you got to dig down if you're a 49er defensive man and find something a little extra. They know exactly what Chicago is going to attempt to do. They know they can't stop it. They've got to make a big play. They've got to go for the football, try and strip it, do something disruptive.
Because, again, we have to reiterate what this game means to the 49ers. They dropped 2 games behind the Saints if they lose this ball game tonight to the Bears.
And into 3rd place in their own division at the 46-yard line, 1st and 10. Anderson in motion. Keep it on the ground. Brad Muster, the fullback, to the 50-yard line. Clock is down to 4:45. Young throwing again on the sidelines. If the 49ers get it back, not only do they have to go to a 2-minute offense, but without a timeout.
Well, the key there, that's the first time that Young has warmed up without his jacket on, if that means anything, but he took off the jacket. And I doubt he took it off because he was hot.
Second down and 6, Chicago at the 50-yard line. They're using as much of the 45-second clock as they can. That clock is down to 7 as they get the play off. And it's Brad Muster who gets pushed back after a gain of about 2 to the 48-yard line, tackled by Larry Roberts. Muster, one of 2 first-round draft choices. The other was Wendell Davis.
We put that graphic up a while ago that illustrated how poorly Young has played the last couple of weeks. But keep in mind how well he played last year on Monday night in that 41-0 game. 4 touchdown passes. I mean, that's something for Bill Walsh to keep in mind, how well he's played in the past against Chicago.
On a Monday night when Montana got hurt in the first quarter. Talking what might not happen.
Yeah, that's exactly the way the Bears are going. That might not happen.
3rd and 3. 45-second clock is down to 5. Game clock to 3:25. Anderson. And Anderson fighting and digging and very close to a first down. And not only that, but they're going to say that he was tackled inbounds and stopped inbounds, which means the clock keeps going. The head linesman signaled to keep the clock going, and then Greer stops it, perhaps with a measurement.
They make that determination that if your forward progress is halted, the moment you start to be driven backwards, that is where the play ended. And if it's inbounds and you get driven out of bounds, the clock keeps winding.
It stopped right now for the measurement, which means after the measurement, they'll wind it again with 3:12.
And if it is 4th down and inches, what will Mike Ditka do?
Ooh, and that's the decision right now.
He could win a football game right here.
The clock's going to start again. The play will be run with about 2.5 minutes to go. 4th and inches.
Oh, you know what? You look at that face, you know what he wants to do.
Yeah, but I tell you what, you have to punt the football. I mean, the way your defense has been playing, why run the risk? Why run the risk of turning the ball over just beyond midfield?
Especially you're only leading by a point. A field goal wins the game for the other team. And he's going to go for it. He's going to send in the extra tight end.
See it in the eyes. Either that or he's going to go out and try and get a penalty out of it, which wouldn't hurt the punter if they were to kick on from 5 yards further back.
After the measurement now, they set the 45-30-second clock to 30 seconds. They wind it now. The game clock starts 3:08, 3:07, and counting down. 4th down and inches. They pick up the first down here. You can just about write a finish to it. Thornton in motion. They give it to Muster, and he is stopped at the 45-yard line.
That's a bad call. It's tough to make that call.
And the 49ers are going to have the football at the 45, 2:51 to play, and no timeout, but they do get to stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. So in essence, a 3 timeout. And I think Steve Young right there.
It's a tough decision, you're right, to make that call. You've got the #1 defense. They've handled the 49ers thus far. Now we're going to see Steve Young.
I know the way Mike Ditka thinks. He thinks if I can't make 6 inches, I don't deserve to win the football game. And that's an admirable coaching mentality, that if you can't move the football that far, maybe you don't deserve to win.
Ditka doing his best Tommy Lasorda impression right there. 49ers get it at the 45-yard line.
This is the man they'll have to chase around. They won't trap him back in the pocket very easily.
Steve Young, the mobile left-handed quarterback, rolling to his left. Gets tackled after a gain of 1, and his flag goes down.
He never intended throwing that football. I get the impression that was a run all the way.
Steve Jackson came up to make the tackle, and a flag thrown as the play ended. Referee Johnny Greer tells us
there is no flag. The illegal block was made after the runner was down.
If it's illegal, it's illegal.
An illegal block after the runner was down. Okay, defies description.
Yeah.
I didn't see one nor understand that.
Second down and 10 at the 46-yard line. Craig across the 50 to the 48. You'll have a third down and about 4 coming up.
And again, Al, we got to remember, no timeouts for the 49ers.
Except at the 2-minute warning when the clock will stop. So you've got the biggest play of the game coming up for the 49ers here. Third down and 4 at the 49-yard line.
You have to speculate as something they have for Steve Young where they can use his mobility. Some kind of a rollout where he has an option to run the football, throw the football, and the 2-minute warning, he'll have a chance to work it all out.
So, in effect, a timeout here. 2 minutes to go. Chicago by 1. 2 minutes to go. Third down, 4. San Francisco at the Chicago 49-yard line. No timeouts left. 10-9. Bears. And Steve Young.
Of course, this is 2 downs for the 49ers. Even if they don't make it, they'll go for it on 4th. They have no choice.
Rathman in motion. Quarterback draw, and about a 3-yard gain. It's going to be 4th down and a yard or 2. Dent put the pressure on, and Singletary then made the tackle.
And I tell you, the 49ers ought to think about moving a little bit here.
Well, here's your ball game right now. 4th and 2 at the 47-yard line.
I don't understand why the 49ers are taking so much time. I mean, they don't have any timeouts left. Even if they get the first down, they still got to worry about getting in field goal range to win this ball game. And they're walking up to the line of scrimmage.
A tight formation with Rice on a wing to the right. They send Jerry in motion, and on 4th and 2, a straight drop. Young lost it for Craig, but Craig is hit at the 46-yard line and stopped short of the first down by Duerson.
An all-pro play by an all-pro. So Ditka's gamble doesn't hurt them. And I think most people would agree you should punt away, but when you got the #1 defense, I think he was counting on that, and he got it.
But a very curious call there, too, to throw that play on 4th and 2.
When you don't have the distance to get a first down upon the reception. Well, only the victors get to give out game balls, and everyone on the Chicago Bear defensive team ought to get a game ball. And if the 49ers would have gone ahead and won the game, everyone on the 49er defensive team should have gotten a game ball.
It has been that kind of game. You think back, here in the second half, the 49ers are not even threatened offensively. The #1 offense in the league, shut down by the #1 defense.
Outside of the opening drive, in effect, the Bears picked a shutout.
And the lack of timeouts at the end of the ball game here has really handicapped the 49ers. Another look at it.
Dave Duerson, who has made so many big plays up at the line of scrimmage, and as Dan mentioned earlier, he was an all-pro at the free safety, all-pro at the strong safety, and there is a Pro Bowl stop there.
Meanwhile, this will be the 5th consecutive game in which the Bears have held the opposition to single digits. They haven't given up double figures since the Minnesota loss, their only loss of the season in week 3. And for the Bears, it's been 1942 since they've gone this long, holding 5 consecutive opponents under 10 points. And this will be the final play of the game as they run out the clock. And the Bears go to 7-1. The 49ers go to 5-3. The 49er 11-game road winning streak comes to an inglorious end.
Does this crowd love it?
This was just a sensational football game, dominated by 2 defenses by San Francisco and Chicago. This game gave us a little bit of everything. But the 49ers, I guess the story now, they have really put themselves in a hole. They're 4-3. I mean, they're 5-4 rather. 5-3. Excuse me. 5-3. But they're still 2 full games behind the Saints because of that tremendous 7-1 start of the Saints.
And in 3rd place in their own division, behind the Rams as well.
There is a very warm little happening there. Singletary, certainly one of those stars tonight, looking for Roger Craig to say hello.
And our Our thanks up here, as always, Kelly Hayes, George Hill, for their work in the booth. Our crew led by Kenny Wolf, Craig Janoff. And the Chicago Bears with a victory to make their mark 7-1, equaling the best record in the league. Buffalo, Cincinnati, New Orleans, and Chicago now all 7-1. Final score again, Chicago 10, San Francisco 9. A reminder, Saturday on ABC's College Football, the Washington State Cougars take on the unbeaten and #1 ranked Bruins of UCLA, or the Iowa Hawkeyes beat the Hoosiers of Indiana. Check your local listings for the game in your area. And next week on Monday Night Football, Halloween night at the Hoosier Dome, the Denver Broncos against the Indianapolis Colts. It all begins at 9 Eastern Time a week from tonight on Monday Night Football. Later tonight on Nightline, the ad wars. How much does negative campaign ads affect the way we vote on Nightline?
Been brought to you by Buick and your Buick dealer. The Great American Road belongs to Buick. By Miller Lite, official sponsor of the Miller Lite NFL Lineman of the Year Award. By Rayovac, batteries that turn people on. And by UPS, we deliver to every address in the U.S. and to 41 countries worldwide. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports.